Ooh, second. Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to our live match preview show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for this evening. Games are coming thick and fast, as unfortunately we encountered a defeat midweek in the Champions League. So it's now time to move on and focus on the next game. And it's not going to be easy for us as we have a Merseyside derby upon us. So it's only right that I bring on my good friend and my brother Double D to talk about the match preview in terms of Everton and Liverpool. But we have a lot to talk about as well. We've got a few updates regarding the manager, regarding the squad next season, and we've got Wrestlemania weekend. So me and Double D are big wrestling fans, so we'll talk about that later in the show. But firstly,
Oh
Double
yeah,
D, thank you for coming. How you doing, bro?
what's going on, bro?
Okay.
I'm all, I was going to say I'm all right, but I'm actually not. But we're going to vent here. We're going to get a lot of our
We got
chefs.
today will be a therapy lesson. I don't think it will be a 9 hour stream that the people have been demanding, but it could be a long show nonetheless.
Emergency meeting. Get them watch hours up.
Trust me, it might have to be done at some point. So I spoke about the game yesterday in a lot more details, but I want to get your take as well. Like, of course, we lost a tie. It was a 4-0 aggregate result. Give me your thoughts on the two legs, how it transpired and what did you make of our performances?
How long you got, bro? I, c- I could just do this. I could just do the two legs until like 4 a.m. if need be now. But
Yeah,
the lineups in both legs baffled me. He's spoken about anti-football. He's spoken about teams playing in a low block and how hard it is. He's gone
yeah,
on that round. He's gone on that round table they did, and he's was saying about how good football is better than results, even though our football has been trash for like
yeah,
19% of the season, and even I
yeah.
could be, and even that might be being nice to us. So you go
True.
out, you play three centre backs. I thought Joe Gomez did quite well, and with him
You did
being
really
on the
well.
left, I thought that he covered up some of the hot-headed play from Kirkes. But
Yeah,
yeah, horrible. We didn't even really look like scoring a goal at any stage. Even we had a couple of breaks. The final ball was never there, and it was horrible. I just thought we could have tried to attack these people more, still lost to them because they're better than us. But at least you would have shown more intent than what you're trying to do. Maybe you could have got a goal because I don't know what it is, and it might be just me. But PSG are superior to us still easily. But I
yeah.
think there's a little something this season that might be missing just a tad compared to their free flowing play last season after
Last
they
season,
lost to
yeah.
Arsenal in the group stage. But they still they know how to manage games. Their midfielders, whether it be Zahir, Emery in as it is at the moment, because Fabian Ruiz, there's some funny stuff behind the scenes
Mm,
going on with him. Um, but all of their midfielders can tackle, they can dribble, and they can pass. So
yeah.
we just look like idiots at a stage because we don't press well enough anyway. In fact, by some side at times, we're not pressing at all. So it's easy to play against us. So for them, they didn't even get out of first gear in that first leg. And
No.
it could have been like, if it wasn't for the
Five,
save by
six.
Mohamed Shooting and some awful finishing, it could have been 5 or 6 easily.
Facts.
Realistically, we used to laugh when Bayern Munich used to tear Arsenal up, but that could have been what happened to us. But the difference is that
Yeah,
we never looked like scoring in the first leg. You get me? Second leg,
yeah.
the lineup again, I thought was strange. I thought after Salah's finish against Fulham,
Fulham.
I would have thought with what he can produce. And this isn't even a case of being a sentimental thing just because we know he's leaving and that might be his last European game. I just thought that he has that something in him, whether it's an assist or whatever, creativity or whether through scoring that can do something. Now, look, unfortunately, because of this horrible injury to Ekatike, Salah came on earlier than we expected anyway. But
Yeah,
yeah, we just like especially in the second half, we showed more hunger, desire, and a bit of passion, and the
yeah.
crowd did their bit, but still, the efforts at Safronov should have been better. And yeah, like Sobasa, I don't know why he wasn't unleashing from long range with how good his shooting is. He was
Yeah.
tending to pass, or when he did shoot, it was when there were bodies there. Salah got himself to good positions, but the finish wasn't there. Gravenberch was trying, but just didn't have just didn't have enough to cause them any sort of game where you want Verts to pop up in the pockets and do
Mm,
something so couldn't be do it. But the Isak thing made no sense to me. And
no.
then he goes and baits up. You spoke last season about how he talks too much, but it was all good because we were winning, so we ignored it sometimes.
Yeah.
Why are you saying before the game that he's only going to play 45 minutes? So you're like, I don't know. I don't know. And the guy, Isak's not fit. We're not going to see him back in rhythm probably until next season. And that's the problem
Next
now
season.
with
Yeah.
this bad Ekatike injury is the fact that
Mm,
who exactly is going to play down the centre and get the goals we need to get Champions League football.
yeah.
So yeah, the lineups in both games baffled me. Slot baffles me, and you can see from my sub header there that I'm not sitting on the fence no more. And I've not called for a manager's head since Roy Hodgson was in charge. You know what I mean? So I understand this is their
Yeah.
livelihood work; they got families to provide for, but I don't
Yeah.
see how this improves. I really don't see how this improves, man.
That's the crazy thing because obviously we got updates from Ornstein that Arne Slot may potentially be staying next season, but I don't feel like there's a case for him. The way he's performed as a manager or coach, whatever his job title is, he's been found out. The irony of the first leg was that and he keeps on banging on about PSG every press conference. So the time when you face them,
Then you
you
go play like that
literally
against them.
play the most negative, or as some people like to say, haram ball, where it's not the football that you want to see, right? So why
Oh,
have you been talking about or complaining about other teams? Oh, why don't team plays like PSG? But the thing is, when
exactly.
you face PSG, you play exactly how the other teams have
Thank
been
you.
playing against us.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
like you're contradicting everything that you say, and
And
that's
and and,
why I
and,
feel
the,
like,
and Oz, the worst thing it's heard to
yeah,
cut in, the worst thing is Oz is
nah, it's
that
cool, bro.
you've seen Chelsea, for instance, who at the moment we
Yeah,
might not finish the season over them, but at the moment we're above them in the league, yeah. We've seen them get a
yeah,
couple of goals against them at their ground, and obviously then they went and wiped them. And it was like throwing a brick at a wasp's nest, as they say, because they brought it back to 2-2. PSG felt
yeah,
disrespected, and when Book had a scaling on, and then went and slapped them 5-2, and the time um,
yeah,
was basically done. So why would you feel to be so negative, knowing that you have the individuals in your squad that can score against these guys? We
yeah.
never really
It's
gave
true.
ourselves a chance with the way we
No,
took to that first leg, and then
yeah,
second leg we tried harder. But it's the thing, they punish you. That what's her name? Right, Leanne Prescott put it as well. She said that's the difference between Liverpool and PSG. When they had a chance, they punish you. When
yeah.
Liverpool had the opportunities, they didn't punish them, man. It
No,
was like they were
we
being
didn't do enough.
friendly.
We didn't do enough in the second leg. We didn't really take a lot. Like the goalkeeper is a shaky keeper. Like he's not very good. So that was a chance to take long shots at him, especially in the conditions that were presented on
Yeah, the
Tuesday
weather.
night. It was
Yeah,
raining. It was like that's when the surface, like when you hit the shot, you can like zip it on the ground. So that was the time to really test the keeper and see what he's about. We barely had any. Like you mentioned, Szoboszlai is the guy you'd expect take long shots, but he didn't really produce anything. Gravenberch had a couple shots, but he didn't really have his shooting boots on because he kept on hitting it off target. So it was just all over the place, and it's a concern. And you know, PSG, the first leg is always going to be a difficult time, but when you play such a defensive setup.
yeah,
And we're not like I don't think we played beautiful football anyway, but that was the most ultra defensive setup you could have presented. Playing a back five. When do Liverpool play a back five? Everyone's back is against the wall. So when you're playing that kind of stuff, you are attracting that pressure from the opponents. They are going to go at you. So how are you presenting yourself to attack them in the opposite direction? It's not going to happen, especially with the players that we have. We don't really have a lot of quick players on the transition anymore. We don't
yeah.
have that on the wings. So because of that, we were always going to struggle in that game. And 2-0, we were very lucky for that match to end 2-0. It should have been 5 or 6 quite easily. And that's me being very honest there. Second leg, the setup, the in terms of the formation, like you mentioned Arnold Slot. Why is he telling everyone that Isak is available for 45 minutes? That is not information that anyone needs to know. Why do you like that's just you revealing the game plan? Oh, he's only going to play one half. Like, what's the point of doing that? He's just
Uh,
honestly absolutely clueless.
so
And
you've used
why would you
the
start
sub.
Isak? Yeah, but why would you start Isak? That makes no like as Liverpool fans, we have seen it this season. Isak needs at least 5, 10 games to find rhythm.
Oh, yeah,
And when he does, he ends up picking up an injury or is on the sidelines for a bit. So that's why his Liverpool career hasn't really started because it's been stop start and he's not really had a full run of games. He's only made 2 cameos. He's come off the bench 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there.
yep,
That doesn't suffice for me to be like, oh, you start the game. If it was Isak and Salah, and then he thought, oh, Ekitike might be out of form, let's put him on the bench. That's a different conversation. But Salah should have started that game. That is a
yep,
game where you need one of your big time players to come on. And he, at this stage of his career, he's still a good goal scorer. He's not a winger as such. I don't feel like he can be as dynamic. Obviously, age catches up with everyone. That was a time to play him in the more central position. You're playing two strikers, so why not do that? So for me, it was bizarre team selection from the first one because it was ironic that he's been classing everyone all season and he plays the same type of football. And then the following leg, you've gone for two-man strike force, which I thought interesting. You've kind of gone for 4-4-2 down, which is what we've been speaking about for a number of months now.
yeah,
And you've dropped the guy that is, renowned to be our top goal scorer. He's recently broken a record in Champions League, being the first African player to score 50 goals. Like,
yeah,
you don't just ignore things like that. He's lethal for a reason.
yeah,
Now, whether he's leaving or not, it's kind of irrelevant. I know the manager is probably not on good terms with Salah, but this is football now. This is the end game business now. It's not about personal affiliations or anything like that.
yep,
You need to get results now. And I'm concerned about the future because we can kind of move on to it right now. So in terms of yesterday, I spoke about on the show that Arne Slot may be potentially staying on next season. And the way he's been carrying himself, you would assume that it could be the case. And we got some other updates today in regards to Richard Hughes, who we thought was destined to go to Al Hilal, or should I call him, Don Richie, which is a name that Double D came up with. I'm joking. Came up with a few months ago. Uh, so it looks like he's staying for another season. So that project is going to remain in terms of revamp. So for me, it kind of comes across where it doesn't really matter what we do this season. Those guys are going to be part of the parcel. They're going to continue what they've started, and that's a concern for me. That's a big, big concern, and we are miles off the elite teams in Europe. Let's just look at the game yesterday in terms of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. Like that's levels. That's the kind of
nah.
games we used to have over the years. Now we can only dream of having matches like that, which is not how it should be. So,
Don't get twisted. The
so
opposition can
exactly,
the opposition can score a certain amount of goals over 2 legs. It will be us that don't score no more. But
exactly.
man's taking the
We're the ones
attacking
getting
out of
thrashed.
the team.
We're the ones getting thrashed. So, we'll talk about Arne Slot and we'll talk about Richard Hughes in more detail. Let me go through some of the comments and then we'll get back into our topic. So,
Yeah,
Ozan, pick up Ozan as always. He says, I'm completely not looking forward to this derby, Ozzy. Our
nope.
morale is low. Everton's morale is high. It is high, to be fair. They've been in good form in recent weeks. They aren't too far away from us. So they have been in a good stance in recent times. Ozan said that Ev had 3 wins, 1 draw in their last 5 games, and 1 defeat, which was actually against Arsenal, and it was a close game as well.
Yep.
So they're not an easy team to
They
beat
were
at all,
they
I
were
would say.
much better than Arsenal in that game.
They were. They were. They definitely were. Daz saying big up to Ozan, big up to us and to the Ozzie and Double D, big up Daz as always.
Big up,
Wayne,
man.
big up Wayne as always. P Fella says, oof, yous are getting tonked. I'm assuming you're an Everton fan. Let's see if that's going to happen. Wayne says, with the injury to Ekitike, do you think Slot will put Gakpo up front and Rio on the left for the rest of the season? I personally think that might be the case. We don't really have
Yeah.
too many options right now. But then
This is
again,
the worst time for Jaden Dance to still be out.
yeah, he's out again, isn't he? So
Yeah, he got
the
another
other
injury.
scenario would be Gakpo on the left and Isak because Isak is fit, but Isak can't play 4 minutes. So I personally would go with Rio and then maybe Gakpo up top for now in like the next couple of games. But then eventually I want it to be Rio and Isak. I think that's what I want to
Talking of
see.
talking of Rio, did you hear what Alex Awobi said when
No,
he came on Tariq's stream? Tariq that was on Love Island. Tariq Hyde, And
Oh yeah.
Tariq, obviously being an Arsenal fan, asked him who's better out of Max Dowman and
Mm,
Rio. And he said before playing against Rio, he would have said Max Dowman, but he said Rio was cooking, and he was talking about how much of a hard time he gave Castagna. Um, what made me laugh
yeah.
is that my boy Bear, big up my boy Bear,
Yeah.
he's a Fulham fan, and he said from when he
Yeah.
heard that Rio was starting, and then he saw Castagna was starting for Fulham. He said his boy messaged him and said, "Yeah, Rio's definitely going to score." And the game hadn't
Yeah.
even started, so yeah, you get me. And Castagna's a good player, but yeah, Rio was cooking,
He's
bro.
good. Yeah. He's good. But
He
yeah,
just
he got
has he
twisted
just
and
has to
turned.
know when he just has to know when to move the ball quickly and when
Yeah.
to put the step overs in. Sometimes he gets the ball
Yeah.
and he has to do the step overs to get into the rhythm for the brain to work. But
Yeah.
he's 17, he's still a baby. We
He's
can't
17.
like
Yeah.
not everybody's gonna be Lamine Yamal when they're 17, you get
Of
me? But
course.
like this guy's ceiling is high, bro. You get me?
He is. And I think that's what I was intrigued about in the second leg when he came on because he was up against Hakimi. And there was a couple of occasions where I think he did too many step overs and he kind of
Yeah.
got caught out in that moment. But that's a great lesson for him because that is one of the best right backs, in my opinion, in the world right now. So when you've got a player like that, that's the
Yeah.
highest caliber. You got to try and think, how do I
Yeah.
get past it? Even though he made mistakes, he'll know if I was
That's how
presented
you
that
learn.
situation again.
That's how you learn. It's trial and error. That's how you want to learn.
Yeah.
Because there was
And the thing
one.
is, he's the only one that tries to get the fullback on. Like none of our other players do it. Does that make sense? So this is what we've been screaming for.
Yeah,
And
so,
I don't
so,
mind wingers doing that and making mistakes or
yeah,
not being successful. You have, like you said, it's trial and error. You've got to attempt it. If you don't do it, we're just going to be predictable. We're going to be flat. We're going to be playing square balls all the time. It's not
yeah.
nothing's going to happen from it. So unfortunately, that's been the tale of our season, isn't it? So yeah, absolutely mental. So what would you say to that question, Double D? Would you agree that would be the selection with Rio on the left and Gakpo, or do you think Isak will be involved a little bit more up top?
Yeah, no, I see Isak getting more bits bit by bit. So after getting 45 against
PSG,
PSG, I expect him to get 50 to 55 against Everton
yeah,
and then be
just
taken
slowly,
off, build
yeah,
our etc. Build slowly. So before the season, he'll be able to. Well, we say get 90 minutes, but he will still probably get withdrawn after about 70 or 75. And if we get the ball into him, we all know he has the quality to finish. It's just that you're not going to consistently getting him move around, etc. Like what we were expecting to see. Um, Rio will start some games, but I don't
yeah,
see him getting as many minutes as he should be because and even when he's cooking, Slot will take him off. It's
yeah,
like he's got his substitutions premeditated because
yeah,
it's a polar opposite to last season where like his in-game management helped win the league, but
yeah,
like he will always take Rio off. If he even gives Chiesa a start, which is the sporadic at best, Chiesa will come off, and it's like you don't need to take these people off. I don't get it.
yeah.
Like he just confuses me, and he's just arrogant with it as well. Like as though yeah, look, you not only have one other title in the last 30 whatever years, so
Yeah.
like you should just be happy with whatever I do. That's not the way to maneuver, bro. Be
Nah,
yourself.
he's been saying some reckless comments recently. Like he was saying the other day that we should be lucky to be in a quarterfinal. Like, do you know who we are? Like we're Liverpool. What do you mean lucky to be in a quarterfinal? We've won this competition on numerous occasions. What do you mean lucky to be in a quarterfinal? This ain't one of
Look
your Dutch teams, in the lower leagues. Like, come on, like behave yourself. So
look at the way Klopp introduced him. Yeah,
yeah,
look at the Klopp introduced him, and you're just having shots at him all the time. Like
I know.
there was that jab the other day about being in the Europa League, about getting knocked out by Atalanta and whatnot. So you should be, as you're saying, be thankful
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
for what's going on and whatnot. It's like read the room, bro. We're struggling at
yeah,
the moment. You should be. You get what I'm saying? Like you should be bashful in anything that you do because
yeah.
we're embarrassing at the moment. What have we lost 17 games this season now, or something like that?
Bro,
Come
it's
on,
like
bro.
18,
This
19
is
now.
Liverpool football.
Honestly.
This is Liverpool football, my brother. You get me?
Nah, crazy.
Like,
Klopp
come
was
on, man.
probably, you know that 50 Cent meme when he's like, why'd you say F me? Like, that's what probably Klopp felt when Arne Slot, like, said them things in it. Because, like, it's irrelevant. Like, why are you bringing up the past? Like, why are you bringing up things about Jurgen Klopp? Like, and that's the thing. Do you know what? When he got appointed, yeah, I'm thinking, you know what, like, he's very calm. Like he keeps on getting asked about Klopp, but he's answering in a normal way. But you know, in the back
yeah,
of it, that was getting on his nerves, isn't it? And now he's letting it loose now because he's feeling the
yeah,
pressure, and he's like, oh, and he like he's one of those guys where he won't accept blame. He'll always just put on other people.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
blame it on Klopp when Klopp's not even got anything to do with this now. Do you know what I mean? So I've lost faith in this guy, and that's why there's no connection between the fans. The fans are just sick and tired of what he's got to say week in week
Yeah,
out. Like, he talks absolute nonsense, and he's
nonsense. Yeah,
always moving the goalposts. And he'll say one thing, the next week he'll be contradicting himself. It's just like
yeah,
you don't know what you're doing. Like you're clueless, and that's worrying as a football fan where you don't know what your manager stands for. And
exactly.
this was a point raised the other day before the second leg. Like in the past, when we've gone into a tie where like the Barcelona game, for example, where we knew the odds were against us, but we just felt like there's a bit of belief there, through the manager, through the
Yeah,
players, especially from the manager. I never got that sense from Arne Slot. Like
I,
he just
I,
seemed, I don't know if you saw the press conference, Double D. He just seemed like very joyful, cracking little dumb
it's
jokes here
weird.
and
It's
there. It's
weird.
like,
Weird, isn't it?
why are
It's
you so
weird.
comfortable right now? Like, because you might know that your job is secure and it doesn't matter what the outcome is. Like, is that the reasoning? Because I need to see some fire from my coach, or you know, bring the fans to like, look, this is one where we've got to stand together. Like nothing
Yeah,
came from that press conference. So for me, this is why I don't align with this coach. He's just a bit all over the place, in my opinion.
he said last year that the PSG game, and it was the biggest game that he'd managed in his career, and it was
Yeah,
obviously because you were at Arsenal Alkmaar and you were at final before. But he said he'll
yeah,
learn from it. But what have you learned? We performed worse. The Nuggets first leg last year, though we won it,
yeah,
they should have scored numerous goals. Big up Allison, outstanding
yeah,
performance. But at least we showed attacking wise we had something there. Remember, before the Harvey Elliott goal, there were numerous attacks where if the touch had been better from Salah or
yeah,
Jota, God rest his soul, we could have
yeah,
scored earlier. So when the goal actually came, big up Nunes, he was involved in that Harvey Elliott goal,
yeah,
right? When the goal finally came, you weren't that surprised to have been clearly been outplayed because we'd shown some promise with some attacks. You just needed to be that final ball that was
yeah,
better. You didn't even have that until like maybe one or two instances in the second leg. Look at the one
yeah,
that Kirkins wrapped around his foot and put wide. Take a
yeah,
touch, bro. You're not
yeah,
right
yeah,
footed. Take a touch.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
come on, man. What did you learn? You were worse. Like, I don't understand how the board can look at these games. Obviously,
yeah,
they want to give him, say he's got credit in the bank because we won the league, but I don't know how the board can look at these performances and think that it's just going to magically improve. The
yeah.
brother's moving like he doesn't know what he's doing, bro.
No, that's the concern. If that's their thinking, where they're like, oh, do you know what? Because he's got Craig in the bank, let's give him another season. I don't think that's acceptable. Like you just have to look at. It's not just like because from their perspective, they're businessmen. So I'm thinking from a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense. From a football
Exactly.
standpoint, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense in any standpoint. So I don't know what the case is, if that makes sense, because
Yeah,
you know the only reason for me he stays is for sentimental reasons. And
yeah,
us fans have said, we've really called the club over the years where it's like, oh, why was he so adamant on, giving Henderson and Milner extensions? Is because they were a pivotal part in terms of the atmosphere of the dressing room. They were leaders. They led by examples. They did the dirty work in the middle of the park. You need players like that in order to function. And they were kind of like his lieutenants, where on the pitch they would do the talking for Klopp. Like Klopp
yeah.
doesn't need to do it,
This is this
in
is
such a heavy manner.
this is this is exactly it, bro. You fit the nail on
Yeah,
exactly it. Because what's it? I remember going to Selhurst. I remember when we beat Palace 2-1. I think
yeah,
Firmino got the winner. That was in the season we won the league, and I was right behind the goal with the Palace fans. Like
yeah,
I actually had a Liverpool tracksuit on, but because it was winter, I had a coat on over it. Otherwise, boy, it could have been a bit peak. And
yeah.
you can hear, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Adrian might have been in goal for that game, if I'm
Okay,
not mistaken, right? But you can hear the keeper talk a bit. You can see Van Dijk marshalling the troops. You've got Hendo in midfield, and then the front three are communicating as well. So it's like leaders in every department on the pitch. You get what I'm saying? And you look at them
Yeah.
now, and it's like what? It's like they don't believe no more. That like
No.
they've lost faith in what the manager's saying. Even you saw Curtis Jones asking like, "What is?
Yeah.
You get me? What's the
Yeah.
instruction the other day? Like, what is it?" And the fact that like this is why they should have just if you're going to get Alonso in, you should have done it already because you think Xabi Alonso with the way he played football, with how good he was at passing, he's going to look at
Yeah.
Curtis Jones and not want him to be in the squad. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
And then obviously
Yeah.
Xabi's going to holler people like Gerrard, who's worked with Jones at youth level as well, because obviously you've got a good um,
Yeah.
uh, relationship with Gerrard. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Gerrard's going to show him this is what he was in the youth team, etc., etc. If he's
Mm.
not giving him that information already, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on,
Exactly.
bro. Come on, man. And Xabi will probably get Gerrard in as a coach.
Yeah.
He probably get him in as his assistant or like a head coach or something
It
like
could
that.
do.
If he
100%.
wants to get the spot, you get what I'm saying? The mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
And the thing
Nah,
with Xabi Alonso as well, and it's not just because he's a former player. Like what I saw with that Leverkusen team, I was hugely impressed the way they played football, and I feel like it was more about structure rather than having a system where certain players do something. Like everyone was interchanging, so it was just a great to watch, and it presents that unpredictability to the opponents. Right now, we're very predictable. Everyone knows how Liverpool are going to play. That's why everyone's trying to figure this out. We're that easy puzzle right now where it don't take long to to solve the mystery there. So for us, it's like we have a lot of work to do going forward. And this coach, for me, is just not good enough. Not good enough for Liverpool. He's out of his depth, and he's been found out. And if he is to be given another opportunity, if you think this season was bad, I'm sorry to say it's going to get worse. I don't think it improves going into next season. Let me raise a few more comments, and then me and Double D will speak on the next topic. Uh, that says, Ozzy, I will send you the pin for the World Cup FPO and predictions. Oh, yeah, that's coming up as well, I guess. Yeah, we'll probably have to get involved as well. Others are, is that what he's still slot in? So let me remove that comment and you will see on the screen in terms of the hashtag, he is slot out. So he's not on the fence. To be fair, he wasn't on the fence. He was very much,
I was already on the fence before. I said if things don't improve, I want him out. And since the last time I
yeah.
come on here, bar one or two results, it's got worse. So I mean, we're out of
No,
a couple
I don't think you're
we're
ever
out
on the
of a
fence, but
couple
you
of
you are very like
yeah,
liberal because, and at that time it was that period where we don't know how it was going to turn. Are we going to overturn those bad run of games or not? And it just got worse. So the outcome was that WD is fed up, like all of us, I would assume. Uh, Wayne says the amount of players we need, we are not getting one summer. We're in the mud for a while. It's true. If we were to play like fantasy football and we're like, oh, let's sell this player because he's not good enough, it's going to be a crazy list. So it's not going to happen. I don't think this sort of song. I think it will be about a few players that we sign. I don't think we're going to sign more or the same volume of players we signed last summer. I don't think that's going to happen. To be fair, Ozan says UTFT up the effing toffee. I didn't even know that. I just thought he meant oofed. Like, I don't know, that was a reaction or something. Like, oh, we're gonna get spanked. I was like, okay. But yeah, I guess I've learned something new today in terms of the acronyms there. Wayne says Rio will be a world beater under a new manager. And this is
yeah,
my concern, Double D.
yeah.
If Slot is the manager next season, I think that's gonna derail Rio's development at the club.
He'll convince Richard Hughes on that to convince the board that to loan him. They'll loan him when he clearly is needed at our club because he's
If they
doing some
loan it, that is an
yeah
awful decision if they loan him.
he's doing something that the other wide men won't do because even these interviews he doesn't even know how to compliment players properly even after they play
No,
good. He can always find something wrong. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
He's a weird character, isn't he? Honestly. He can't compliment people, but he's so quick to throw people under the bus. Like, it's unbelievable.
it's crazy.
Honestly,
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. He's arrogant. His arrogance is crazy,
his
and
arrogance is.
he just doesn't gather that he's not mixing with the fan base. You get me? Even the other day, he was saying like he was trying to he was summing up why the fans were booing, and he was saying, "Yeah, I think they're booing at the team. Who the hell else would they be booing at? They're booing you, bro." they're booing you, brother. It's like, bro, like, are you doing this on purpose? You not realizing like what's going on? Who the hell else do you think that they're booing? Like, come
Nah,
on, like, what
he's
is
just
wrong
wearing them black shades, and he's like, "Oh, no one's talking about me." Like that's how he's thinking right now. Like you're
Ignorance
not
is
get
bliss, bro. Ignorance is bliss. Like, what's like what's going on, man? Like, come
nah,
on.
he's saying he's probably one of the most deluded managers. I thought Brendan Rodgers was deluded. I think this guy's, he's gonna give a run for his money for sure.
Gucci
Musa, big
boots.
up Musa. He says, I reckon the summer transfer window is gonna be a make or break. You guys need more depth all around from left back to CDM to wingers. I agree. We do need a lot more depth now. Musa. Oh, so Wayne says to at Musa, we need about 8, 9 players. No way that happens in this summer. And we've Slot saying sale to buy the other day. It's gonna be time before we are back. Yeah, we'll talk about that because it's been reported that Liverpool might be signing 4 or 5 players. So me and Double D will give you guys our list of players that we think could be signed. We'll give a dream list, and I guess we'll give a realistic list as well. 'Cause right now, I don't know where we stand. To be fair, um, Musa says to Wayne, true, but the main priority in the summer is to get a replacement of Salah and more defensive minded midfielder. I agree. I think those two are the key areas that we need to address, and we need to make sure it's the right
But
player. It
bro,
can't just be
this is
anyone.
the thing though. They don't even have to be expensive. If the scouts do their
No, they
flipping job,
don't.
these don't even have to be expensive players. You can pick up someone who's in the
Yeah,
midfield that can sit and be combative, yeah,
yeah,
for like
yeah,
25 million. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
30, maybe
Facts.
30 million. You get what I'm saying? I mean, like,
Yeah,
you don't have to be spending like Elliot Anderson sums of
yeah.
money
Yeah,
to
it's
get
true.
someone
Obviously,
that
they're
can.
good players, but I totally like that position. It doesn't need to be like a glorified player just because they're like the in trend player right now. If that makes sense, like it needs to be someone that is going to come in and be industrious. You can get those players if you scout properly. Like obviously, I feel like me and you got good IQ, but we've got scouts in our club that aren't finding these players for whatever the reason is.
I
There's a
don't
lot of
get it.
players out there that can do that job, and
Or
that's
if
the
we
missing
do,
piece in our
or
midfield.
if we do, then we were monitoring them. You know, like there's the
Yeah,
Liverpool
as we do.
glossary,
Yeah.
monitoring, watching,
We just like to build a
admiring,
database. That's all it is. We
and
like to have a long spreadsheet of players. That's what it is.
then we let all these players go to other teams.
Yeah.
Mateus, the West Ham,
Fernandez?
Mateus Fernandez. We were meant to get
Oh,
him before he went to Southampton. Before
is
he
it?
went to
I like him. He's a good
You
player.
get what I'm saying? Before we went to
Mm,
Southampton, and then flipping, and then obviously now West Ham have picked him up, and then they're saying we're going to spend big money for him. We could have got him for a fraction. Alcaraz, before he went to Southampton,
yeah, I heard
also
about
was another player. Bruno Guimaraes is probably the main name that we were looking
from
at.
Leon.
And then we allowed him at Leon, and then we allowed him to go to
Mm,
Newcastle because there was something about the fact that they like to other European clubs to buy the players so
yeah,
they can see how they acclimatize to it. And then you're going to spend 2, 3, maybe even 4 times as much on a player that you've had on your list.
yeah.
We've got two in João Gomez and Andre that are both at Wolves, and they're not necessarily DMs, but they're combative at least, and that is what this team
That's a
lacks
great
in
shout.
DMs at the moment. We're too easy to play against. They're
Yeah,
too
that's
easy
a
to
great
play
shout.
against, bro. You get what I'm saying, bruv? So there's so
Yeah,
many people there, and especially with Wolves going down, I'm going to cross that. Regardless of where Wolves are on the table, both these men are going to be in Brazil squad for the World
yeah.
Cup. The
Yeah, it's not
Andre one,
about the team itself. You got to look at them
yeah,
individually as well. Just like when we signed Wijnaldum when Newcastle got relegated, we didn't look
there
at
you
it as a relegated team. We saw that what he brings to the table is exactly what we need in our team,
go.
and it worked
Thank you.
well. So it's not about like we don't need to go and do the whole typical marquee signing anymore. We did that unfortunately last season with Verts and Isak, and quite frankly, it hasn't worked out the way we expected it to. So
Yeah,
now we have to be smart because even if we qualify for the Champions League, I think we have to sign players that are right for the way we play. It has to be suited for the Premier League as well. I think that has to be focused now, where we sign players that are ready to do physical battles. They're ready to, depending on position, they're ready to move in transition, but also they are quick, they're dynamic, and they're ready to battle. That has to be the profile players we need to go for. So the names you mentioned, I think they're good shots. And the Fernandez one, I actually remember he used to play for Sporting, didn't he? Before He went to
Yeah, yeah,
Southampton,
yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
You might
remember
have
him.
even you might on one of your old shows, you might have even have mentioned him a
Yeah, I
couple
feel
of
like
seasons ago
yeah,
before he
yeah,
even went to Southampton. What makes me
Southampton.
laugh is
Yeah,
a player that we got quoted a few seasons ago for like 65 million, even though like that's another one that can play that DM or CM
yeah,
position is Florentino Luis, who's bloody on loan at Burnley now. You get what I'm saying? Like just like I just sit there and I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
what are we
What are we
doing?
doing? And the thing is about us and the way we work, and because obviously it's Richard Hughes coming into the role, don't be surprised if we get linked, if we're not already, to Alex Scott now at Bournemouth, who had that long injury after they brought him in from the
Yeah,
Championship. But that's another player there. And he can make late runs into the box as he showed against Arsenal as well. It
yeah,
doesn't have to be somebody that is going to cost 100 million. We should be looking at free transfers as well. Bloody, with the amount of money we're going to have to spend in the summer to clear up this Egypt
yeah.
squad, they might as well try and get Harry Wilson back on a flipping free, bruv. You get what I'm saying? I mean,
Trust me.
cut
Yeah,
corners when
back
you
up right
can.
winger or something. Yeah,
You get me a right winger, cut corners where you can with the spending. Because also as well, I think if Xabi was to come in, Xabi would look at Harvey Elliott and have him as a serious player in the squad. That's in my opinion. I mean,
yeah.
in a
I agree.
central midfield role, or to, you get me, depending on what formation
Or on the
he's
right
going to
wing
play,
if you need him there as well.
rather than playing on the right. But yeah, he can play on the right. When he went on
I
loan
think
to
Harvey Elliott would
Blackburn,
be a good addition to the squad because he
yeah,
covers the number 10 role, but he also plays for
yeah,
the right wing. So he
yeah.
doesn't need to be a starter as such, but
Yeah.
off the bench he can kind of accommodate
Or,
two roles there. And you
or
know,
as a right, it depended on the formation, but obviously Xabi will
yeah,
change things. When he was playing in the Klopp formation, him as a
yeah,
right-sided eight, he'd get onto that left foot, he could pass
yeah,
it, etc. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? He's a baller. He's a baller. He's had a
yeah.
season wasted. You get me? After being the man of the tournament in the when the under 21s won
England
the
under
Euros and
21s,
stuff.
yeah,
He just had
it's
a year
facts.
wasted. And then even the way Slot talks about him, you'd think that Harvey did something to Slot,
Yeah,
bro.
he's gone, isn't it? Yeah. This this is why I'm very concerned about this manager. Like the Harvey Elliott one, I don't think we should have sold him personally. I think we should have kept him because I think as a squad player, and with him
But
being a
remember,
boyhood player as well,
it's
I
a
don't think he
loan.
would have minded as
Remember,
well.
remember, it's not even a sale. It's the loan,
It's a
and then
loan
flipping
to yeah,
Villa won't use him in the game. So he's just had a year. He's just had a year
poor
wasted out
guy,
of his
man.
career, bro. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but yeah,
He's been left out
he's
cold
looking
and now we
straight.
don't know what's gonna
Yeah,
happen for him in
man.
the future. So it's a shame. It's a big shame. Uh, Ozan says the credit has expired. Yeah, it expired for me a long time ago, but apparently it's long lasting with FSG. So God knows what's going to happen with the manager.
Yeah,
Wayne says to Amus, I don't think we're going for midfield this summer. I think we are prioritizing replacing Salah and a left winger. We'll speak about that shortly, Wayne. Wayne's asked, do you think Slot is thinking the squad out because he said is one of his first interviews that he likes to work with 14, 16 players? If he thinks that's going to work, that's suicidal. In
that,
this
that,
modern
that,
day, you cannot have 14 to 16
yeah.
players
With the amount
and
of
compete
games,
in all four
no way,
competitions.
no way.
What's the point? So if that's the case, then he's already lost the plot. If that is his viewpoint, I know some coaches like smaller squads, but the thing is, a 24, 25 man squad is not actually a large squad. It's just two positions, two players per position, if that makes sense. So it's not
Yeah.
that crazy to have like that, but 14, 16 is wild, especially when you have 11 players on the pitch and we have seven subs. That's 18 players. So according to that metric, we're not even going to have enough subs if that's what Slot wants to do. So, like, that would be perfect for a five-a-side team on a Sunday, not the Premier League, not the professional game.
He'd be cool with that because sometimes he maneuvers like he doesn't want to use the bloody subs anyway, bro.
True.
Jesus Christ, this guy, man. I don't know
It's
how.
funny
It's
you
like,
mentioned Chiesa, and I totally forgot about Chiesa. I totally forgot about Chiesa.
bro, it's like two completely different people who have managed his football team. We won the league, his in-game management. We all know, like, flipping that first game against Ipswich where he took off Quansah. We thought,
Yeah,
okay, it's tough love. Even, I should have sent it to you beforehand. Quansah's
yeah.
done an interview. Quansah's done an interview and he said playing for Leverkusen has helped him get his love for football back. That's what
Oh
Klopp did.
God,
Sorry, not Klopp, never Klopp. That's what Slot did to
Slot.
this man's
Yeah,
confidence. That's what Slot has done to this man. You took him off at half time because he wasn't winning his aerial duels. But yet, look, rest in peace to Konate's father. But before we
Yeah,
knew about all of that, we
yeah,
see what some of the performances he was putting up, and he wouldn't put Gomez in there. And then when asked
yeah,
about it, he'll say things like it's because of the fact that uh if he was to get injured in terms of backup. So then you put him in against PSG when now, like
mm,
back then when he first said it, he only was available. You get me?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it wasn't until we played in the League Cup game when then he was out. So then he's been
yeah.
out since
Southampton.
then. And then you throw Gomez in there, so he could have been he could have got injured. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
Gomez, and then who's your backup? What you're going to put Gravenberch at centre back? You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, you don't make just makes no sense. Look how much Soboslai, the legs in midfield, the one who's willing to press at right back. I think even he gets confused sometimes what position he's meant to be in, and that determines whether he's going to shoot or whatever the hell he's going to do. We are just a mess. It's
we
so
are.
sad. Like, you would never think
Yeah,
we won the league last season,
no,
like the way it's going on. And he's not improving his profile because though even the set of players how they were, Klopp never won the
yeah,
league with the new midfield, obviously with the because the title win with Klopp was in 2020. But he's just making it look like now it's him starting to get his team together. You
mm,
can't make it work, bro. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, it's just a mess. I've never been so underwhelmed and have no
yeah,
form of optimism before we play a football match. It's not happened in
yeah,
years. So on the back
yeah.
of a title win makes it 100 times worse. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know,
Bro,
man.
the title win, if honestly feels like a lifetime ago. Like literally, it was like a year ago. Almost just next month will be a year, and that for me feels like a lifetime ago. Like going to the parade, it's like I feel like that was just a dream. Like that wasn't even real life, honestly, because the way we're performing right now, we are a complete shadow of ourselves. And with this coach, it's not going to get any better. So I really hope FSG fix up and they make the right call, part ways, and get Xabi Alonso through because that's the only solution right now. I know some fans are like, "Oh well, look, you got Luis Enrique," and I'd love it to be Luis Enrique, but I think he'll stay. I don't think he'll move on right away, personally. Um, but I feel like Xabi Alonso fits the bill in terms of what we need, and I think because he understands the club, I feel like he's the right fit. So yeah, let's see, man. Let's see what happens. Musa's got a few comments here. Says to Wayne, maybe not a left winger because surely Rio's got to have some more game time next year. Surely, but I guess you have Gravenberch, but the other DM is Endo and he's injured. The thing with Rio, I said it the other day, and I might be jumping a gun, but I expect Rio to be one of our main starters for left wing next season. That's what I would do. I would give him the platform to start, but then also rotate him. Like, don't overwork him too much, but give him the confidence to be like, you know what, you're going to be the left winger start of the season, and I feel like that will just give him such a
Confidence and
boost.
boost, is it? Yeah,
Yeah, and then but then also like this is what I'm saying with this manager, he's got zero man management skills. Like, and I can tell, and I don't need to be there to see it as well. I can just tell in terms of how he talks in the press conferences, because he never backs the players ever. Like, I don't think
yeah,
he's ever complimented any of the players. So because of that, you don't get that unity within the squad, and because of that,
yeah,
everyone. And this has been a criticism. I know Jamie Carragher's mentioned it in the past that we play like individuals in our team, and that's because it comes from the coach. He treats them
yeah,
like individuals. He doesn't treat them
yeah,
like a group
yeah,
of players.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's what Klopp embodied. Klopp embodied a togetherness within the squad. So
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
coincidence. It's not rocket science. It's literally simple stuff. And like when you're a manager, you need to know how to manage different personalities, whether they have a big ego or, some players are a bit more sensitive, so they don't like being shouted at, for example. But you give them an arm around the back, they take feedback a bit more better. So it's under that understanding the psychology of being a coach. This guy has none of that in his locker whatsoever, and he's just below the standards that you expect at Liverpool. And I know we had Jurgen Klopp, so maybe the benchmark has been left very high, but regardless, it should be someone that understands how to nurture players. And when you got a player like Rio Gamora, who, like you said, Double D, he's got a very high ceiling. I can almost say that he's like a generational talent. Like that's what I feel when I watch him because the way he plays kind of feels like he's beyond his years. Like the way obviously there's areas where he can improve, but we can always
yeah,
critique players in terms of how they can perform better. But he's playing with no fear. And that's what I
Yeah,
like to see in a young player. You don't want to get that out of their game. He's young. Let him be explosive on the pitch. Let him express himself. We're
yeah,
playing
of course,
in
man.
this day and age where it's all about systems. It's all about being a robot. Like you're robotic in the way you
Yeah,
play.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let the kid do what he's doing, man. That is a God given talent right there that he's worked hard on as well. God give him the platform next season. So for me, if it's Slot, I pray that he sees the light and gives him the starting place. He won't because his son-in-law will still be there in Cody
yeah.
Gakpo. He's still going to be at the club because I don't think he'll be sold personally.
Man,
So
I think it was on Copish. They were saying that uh, Cody Slot's landlord or something like that. Like I was in,
nah,
yeah,
he's the
and
son-in-law, bro. The way he gets treated, man, that's son-in-law treatment right there. So you can't do anything wrong. That's basically what I'm seeing right now. So
but the
yeah,
joke is
man.
he's
Let's
actually
see
been
who
taking
manages.
Cody out. He's actually been taking Cody out, but the thing is that I think Cody would have actually helped against PSG from the start because
Yeah,
obviously we know that he's going to cut in, but just to actually shooting, we were
yeah.
giving
Be a
it
bit more
all,
direct.
especially in the second half, yeah. But shooting, sometimes you leave a person in the team for so long when they've been out of form that they were always coming back into some kind of not necessarily form, but
Yeah,
showing you a little something. And then obviously he's benching him now. But yeah, it's just a mess. Like I honestly fear for the derby. I fear, and I don't usually fear Everton games, though I know we've continuously, especially at Goodison Park, faltered.
yeah.
But if you remember the win there earlier in the season, the first half at the time was our best first half of the season. We played some lovely football,
Good
and
football,
both the
yeah.
goals were good goals. Like Salah's ball to Gravenberch was outstanding,
Mm,
and then the
yeah.
Ekatike goal was a lovely goal as well. And then in the second half, Everton had us camped in our own half. We just about beat them 2-1. You get what I'm saying in the end? Like, just a guy scored, and then they had the other close efforts, and Grealish running the penalty and whatnot. I thought, what is this? And that was literally
Mm,
what we watched on Saturday against Fulham, apart from the fact Fulham didn't score. They had a couple of really good chances in that as well. We don't even look convincing
yeah.
when we're winning, bro. It's crazy. It's
Facts.
crazy,
No,
bro. Uh,
I totally agree. This game's going to be tricky, and it's at their stadium as well, which we'll talk about as well. So it's going to be interesting in terms of the atmosphere and everything surrounding that. Also, so with a DM, you just need someone with experience like a Jordan Henderson. Yeah, of course, experience it definitely plays a role, but I feel like we've got a good wealth of midfielders. Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister. I think his future's a bit up in the air. Personally, I don't know if he'll be here next season. But if
yeah.
we were to add a DM, I feel like that would definitely. And speaking of the like other midfielders, even Jones might not be here, which we'll talk about shortly as well. So,
I find that ridiculous. With the lack of
experience would be
homegrown
cool.
players,
Mm,
terrible. With the
yeah.
lack of homegrown players, like Jones going is
Yeah,
terrible.
that's a big thing as well. That's a big
Terrible.
talking point. Because
That
we're,
would that,
we're already quite thin on the homegrown quarter anyway.
this is what I'm
So
saying. And even in that, do you think any new player would come? So any new coach, manager, whatever, would come in and from what they would have known about him previous anyway, but we've them to watch him in a training session and would think that he doesn't belong at the club. He was cooking on Saturday against Fulham before he had to come off.
yeah, he was really good, Jones. Yeah, Jones stood out, man. Jones has been great this season. I feel like he's been one of our consistent players. Whenever he's played, he's always produced the goods. It's just that he's got a personal issue with the manager now, or the manager's made it into a personal issue more than anything else. So, I think what I'm saying his ego and his arrogance is something else. Brendan Rodgers is a piece of cake in comparison to him. Uh, Wayne says to Musa, Real will need cover. I do believe if Joshua didn't pass, we would have Isak and Jota plus a left winger already. Endo is leaving this summer. Endo, most likely, I don't know how severe the injury is, but I would expect him to part ways at some point as well. There's been no links to DMs. It's about wingers. Yeah, obviously, I think because of Salah's announcement, the stories will be surrounding the winger. Even with Robertson's announcement, we haven't been linked with that many left backs as well. So we'll have to wait and
Yeah.
see in terms of what happens. Ozzy says, name all the players that need to be sold, Ozzy. All right, let me quickly do it on top of my head. So I don't think it'll happen, but I'm not impressed with Mohamed Ashvili. I don't think he's good enough. Let's talk
I thought we could have saved that first Dembele goal, you know.
bro. That was not like it was a nice finish, but it wasn't in the corner. It wasn't with real venom at all. And like his passing, his distribution, honestly, I'm unfit to play
we
football,
knew
but
from
I
the
can distribute better
we
than
knew
him,
from
bro.
the
Trust
Euros
me.
we knew from the Euros about that though, didn't we? In part, in terms of his distribution and that, but what makes me
It's
laugh is
bad.
that we continue to pass the ball back to him, knowing that he is nowhere near the levels that Allison has in
Yeah.
receiving the ball and distributing it. Like we really make our own problems sometimes, and the opposite was so bad. The opposition doesn't need our help. You know what I'm saying, but
Yeah.
we still give it to them anyway. You know what I mean? But
Trust
yeah,
me. Like if it was my choice, I would sell him, but that's not going to happen because I think even in the future, if Allison was to leave, I would rather the club sign a replacement for Allison and have Mama Dashvili as your number two because you don't expect the number two to play too many games. So as
yeah,
cover, I don't think he'll be bad, but I'm very, very shocked at the level of his distribution. It's below standards, in my opinion. I think he's very, very poor at that. In terms of the squad, obviously Roberts is leaving. Not that would have been my choice personally, but unfortunately he is leaving now. In terms of the centre backs, looks like Konate might stay, so I'm not too fussed about that. I do like Konate personally. Um, Joe Gomez, rumors about him leaving. I wouldn't sell him. I would keep him.
I would
He's
be.
got 1 year left. I feel like even if he's not one of your starters, I think he's a good player to have as like a squad player for
Yeah,
rotation and all that sort of
class
stuff.
as
So
well.
I would
Yeah,
keep him. Um, who would I sell? I feel like I'm a bit. I would sell McAllister. I think that's probably quite obvious in terms of the way I've spoken about him all season.
you might as well
Um,
sell. You might as well sell Ramsey because Slot won't use him.
yeah, sorry, Ramsey as well. Yeah, let me think of the fringe players. So Ramsey,
Yeah.
um,
Re-
McAllister,
Reese Reese still plays for us. Yeah, just reminding you.
Reese Williams, bloody hell, Reese Williams as well. Um, this might be a bit of an unpopular opinion because he seems to have a little bit of a cult within the fan base. Bajtic, I'd sell him. I think whatever
Yeah,
issues he's got,
fitness, fitness.
it's not cool, but I don't think he's going to be ready made to play for Liverpool or for a Premier League team. I think he's better off moving on to La Liga where he did really well at Las Palmas. I think that's the type of football that suits his skill set. So I'd get rid of him. Um, I wouldn't get rid of Jones. I know a lot of fans assume that he's going to be sold. I personally wouldn't sell him.
Yeah,
Um, Salah's gone. Chiesa's gone. I just told you a few minutes ago. I didn't even know. I forgot about Chiesa altogether. Um, I personally would keep Harvey Elliott, but I think Slot will sell him. So personally, no, I would keep Harvey Elliott as a backup, and then we
yeah,
sign a top right winger or the Salah replacement. So that then you don't have to do too much sort of like chopping and changing. Um, I would sell Gakpo because I don't think he's great, but that's not going to happen either. Um, so I'm not expecting a lot of crazy sales this season. I think it's going to be a bit more measured. Uh, which you know what? We'll speak about that very shortly. Let me just go through some of the comments and then we'll speak about that. Because
yeah,
there's been a report today in terms of potential players that might be leaving. Musa says you guys honestly shouldn't have sold Diaz to Bayern. I think me and Double D have said that quite a bit during the season. I think that was a mistake altogether. He wanted to leave. The problem wasn't selling him. The problem was we didn't replace him. Yeah, I agree. I think with the Diaz situation, he wasn't going to be given a new contract, so
yeah.
therefore club had to find a solution. But the main thing is we didn't replace him, and I think
It,
even when we saw Kwanzaa, we didn't directly replace him either, which is why
yeah,
we were expecting to be Gay, but that never occurred. So we made a lot of mistakes. Even though I think we signed some good players last summer, I think we also made a couple of mistakes as well. Wednesday, I don't think Slot is bothered about FA Cup or League Cup. No, I don't think he is either. Ozzy says, Ozzy, did you hear some say Rio needs to be loaned out? Yeah, Double D mentioned this earlier in the show. I think that's absolutely wild for him to be loaned out. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. So just because he's young, it doesn't
would
mean
you would it make sense to have loaned him this season? Then it's
yeah.
idiotic
Like,
the way the
honestly,
club
like
is being.
if they had loaned him this season, I wouldn't have too many clowns because I'm thinking, do you know what? It's good for development. Kind of like similar to what we did with Harvey Elliott, where he went
Mm.
out on loan to Blackburn and he came back a better player. And he was about, I believe he was about 17 when that happened as well, 17, 18.
Yeah,
So
18.
that made sense, right? For that to happen, because we signed him when he was about 16, so that made sense for that to happen. Uh, but based on what we're seeing now, where I'm seeing him as the guy to take us forward for years to come. Why would you loan him out? That doesn't make sense to me at all. So yeah, I don't know
Nonsense.
why fans. If that's Liverpool fans, I'm a little bit shocked by that, to be honest with you. Admiral said, "Big up. We need a prime midfield: Cafu, Carlos, Maldini, Beckenbauer, Zidane, Xavi, Messi, CR7, Pele. Bloody hell, that is some fancy football right there." Wayne says, "Ozzy, why keep Gomez? He's on the treatment table more than the pitch." So for me, the way I look at it, I wouldn't have him as one of our centre backs in terms of the four choices. I would have him as a fifth choice centre back, but also players who have around the squad because of his experience. But then when you need him here and there, I think he's a good player to have. Kind of gives you that safety blanket if we were to pick up injuries. Unfortunately, we have picked up a lot of injuries in our defense, in particularly right back. So this season we've had Frimpong out a couple of occasions. You've had Bradley, and I don't know if you know Double D. I don't know what the update is in regards to Bradley. Is he out until preseason or is he out until next year? We haven't got that confirmation right now. So it's one of those things where I feel like having an additional experienced player like Gomez in the squad makes perfect sense to have in
Can
your
only
squad,
help, yeah. Versatile,
and
yeah.
homegrown, and and he's only got 1 year left. So I feel like it would be a good way for him if we don't want to extend his contract. It'll be a good send off, but also let him complete on his own terms. That's the way I'd want it to be done. So for me, I'd rather have him, and he's one of those players as well where he doesn't need a run of games to perform well. He come in here and there and still perform at a very good level. So those players are not very easy to come by, I would say. I would say subscribe, Prime R9, Prime Ronaldinho. I need to watch that Netflix documentary, the Ronaldinho one. It came out today, so that's something I'm looking forward to watch because Ronaldinho was my guy back
Yeah.
in the day,
Uh,
man. Honestly, that was one of my favorite
Prime,
players.
Prime Cannavaro, Prime Casillas, Prime Alves, Prime Cole, Prime Vieira. But under Slot's tutelage, would they
Yeah, we'll
even
probably
be
fail.
able to be effective?
Anderson, we need to win the league. Yeah, as in the aim is always to win all competitions, but under this coach, I don't know what's going to happen. So before we get into the actual match preview, of course, me and Double D have spoken about the PSG game and everything surrounding it. So I mentioned to you guys earlier on that Richard Hughes looks like will be staying on as sporting director next season. So the
Boo.
band the band unfortunately looks like will be staying together for at least another season. So it's also been reported that the club plan on signing 4 to 5 players, and apparently as many as 9 players will be moved on. So the players that are in question or they believe could be sold are the likes of McAllister, Joe Gomez, Jones, Salah, Robbo, Chiesa, Elliott, Ramsey, Reece Williams. That's 9, but I'd probably add Bajcetic to that list. So that's 10, in my opinion.
Uh,
Of
even
course, we already know the
Dominic King actually replied to some of the sub Liverpool counts, and he said that, well, we know about the salary that already, but he said 5 out of 9 defo. The other ones are possibilities. He was saying, but it's
Mm,
5 of them are like defo. You got what I'm saying? But the sub accounts are using that, twisting it a little bit, obviously, to get the hits on social media. But
yeah.
you do see some of those other names likely that they will leave anyway. You get me? One or two might be released. Reece Williams might be released on a free because like
Yeah, I
the
think his
guy's
contract
sitting there
finishes.
doing what? We've sent him on a couple of loans. They've not played him as much as expected to be bringing back
No one
to
even took him on loan last summer.
who's
They didn't even want him. So yeah, he's just been around the academy right now. So
just there. Yeah.
it's crazy. So I think the players that have been listed, McAllister is still a bit of a question mark because Slot might want to keep him on board. But I'm looking at more of a sense in terms of like sell to buy, because if that is the policy again that we're going to conduct, we need to raise the funds. And I feel like McAllister is a player at this stage of his career that still holds value. And I feel like we could get a big, chunk of money in terms of his sale. Joe Gomez, I personally wouldn't sell. I don't think you'd get much money for him. I'd rather utilize his experience within the squad. Jones, I think me and you are on the same page, but the fan base are quite split towards Jones. I personally would keep him. I think we need that type of player who embodies the club, who's not going to demand a starting place every game, but knows when he's involved, he's going to give his all. And I feel like those players are very much invaluable. So I wouldn't sell Jones. Um, Salah Robbo, that's their fate's been sealed. Chiesa, his fate was sealed before he probably joined the club, to be honest with you, because Slot didn't like him from day one.
There
Um,
you go.
Elliot, I think me and you on the same page. I would keep Elliot. I think it would be worth keeping him on board as a squad player, but it could looks like it could be moved on. And Ramsey, yeah, we'd be struggling with right back, and he never gets a chance. So God knows when he ever will. So he's going to be moved on. And Reece Williams, we've already spoken about him. So the report is that we're going to sign 4 to 5 players. So my question to Double D is which, let's say five, which 5 players would you like the club to sign? And I'll probably give you a bit of an exclusion of a player. So we won't include Jacquet because that's done. So 5 additional players that you think we could potentially sign or we should address this summer.
Ooh, um, hmm. I'm trying to think. I don't think that some of the names that I'd like are realistic, to be honest. But yeah,
You can kind of do a bit of both
yeah,
because I've got names that aren't realistic, but still have to put it out there in terms of the universe. Hopefully, it comes out or comes true to some point.
yeah, and you either want a sitting midfielder or a competent box to box one, um,
Mhm.
aggressive. It looks like Edison though at Atalanta is going to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah,
Um,
I heard that as well.
so in terms of like a box to box DM, I'm trying to think of who sits because even I wouldn't call the likes of Alex Scott, who I mentioned earlier, I wouldn't say they're a DM. I say that they're more like centre mid, tenacious centre mid
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
agree.
But maybe Scott Bournemouth, which shouldn't be hard for um, Hughes to do because obviously he used to be at Bournemouth and that seems to be all he knows with the likes of Kirkes. Um,
Yeah,
also as well, centre half. And actually, funny enough, just before we come on here, it says Liverpool are one of 3 Premier League teams. I think it's with Arsenal. I don't know how many centre backs they want. Man United and someone that are looking at Marcos Senesi, who
this is a
obviously
good shout.
Hughes brought to thing, and he would be a future successor to Van Dijk, even though he's about 28 now, I think, Senesi. So it's not like he's
Yeah,
young like that, but we need that bit of experience there
experience.
because.
Yeah,
Like we're buying all these young centre half, you still need someone of a certain age with a wealth of experience there.
he's
Um,
left-footed as well, isn't he, Senesi?
yeah,
I
it's left
think as
footed.
well.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. Yeah, future success as well. And he can he
yeah,
can he can pass it, bruv, and he's very
he's a
good,
good player. I do
obviously in
like
the
him. Yeah.
opposition box as well. The only reason why Howson even came into the side last season is because Senesi got injured.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
they're starting centre halves were Senesi and Zabani. But then Senesi got injured and Howson came in and Howson was very good. So then obviously
Yeah.
um, Madrid have picked him up. Um, I'm trying to think of a DM, a realistic DM. People always talk about Angelo Stiller. I like Stiller, but whenever I've seen him like in certain games
Yeah.
for Stuttgart, I've seen him do more damage box to box than like just like sitting and
Yeah.
breaking play
I
up
get
and
what you
all
mean.
that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind him though. Um, yeah, I'm not really so. In terms of positions, though, centre back defo a senior, I'm more senior. A centre back over 25 because we're stockpiling all these teenagers, and we've got Jacques now who's only 20.
We've
So
done quite a bit with that,
a centre back over 25. Yeah, um, yeah. We are we've spoken even in previous shows about Diamande because this is someone who
Yeah.
likes to beat someone. 2 wingers, and Rio can obviously do the left in part, but can't play every
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
You don't want to drain him at that age. 2 wingers that can take people on completely changes the dynamic of Liverpool going forward.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'll say Diamande because we've spoken about um, that one before. Um,
Yeah.
DM. I'll just say Scott because I'm trying to think of a realistic DM because my head always goes to Nikina, Camavinga, or Chouameni, who can obviously do
Yeah,
box to
that's
box
the
as well.
dream right there.
But that's big money. I'm trying to think of saving B because of the sheer fact of how much
Yeah.
money we're spending, and so I can't really.
Yeah.
Um, I spoke about the boy Heza before at Olympiacos, the Argentine.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but I'm trying to, yeah, not really other ones coming. Left back, who the hell can we get left back? 'Cause you know me, I've not been impressed with Kirkens thus far, but it looks as though we're going to bring Zimikas back up Kirkens
I was gonna
anyway.
say
So
to you because I feel like that's going to be the more likely outcome. I think bring back Simicast for another season, and then if Kirk hasn't elevated, then I think we'll upgrade on him next summer, so 2027. I think that is the plan. That's what I would assume anyway. Because I think it would be a bit harsh to upgrade on him now, but
yeah,
if I was sporting director, I would be a bit more cutthroat. I would actually upgrade on him right now. I would get
yeah.
someone that I feel like is better. So a player that I quite like is the one from Frankfurt, Nathaniel Brown.
Oh, Brown, he's been scoring freely recently as well, still
Yeah,
from the
he's
left
cold.
position. Nathaniel Brown is
So
decent.
that would be the someone I would bring in, but I don't think that's what the club will do, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But he's
yeah,
cold.
yeah, I hear you. Nathaniel, yeah, he's good. He's been getting a couple goals recently, as said.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, centre half, the dreams Bastoni again, but that will cost a stupid amount of money.
Did you hear
And,
about
uh,
Schlotterbeck?
yeah, I like
Did you hear about
Schotterbeck, but
Schlotterbeck?
he didn't. He signed a new contract.
But apparently he's got a release clause that can be activated. It's like 40 to 50 mil.
Oh, okay. He had a horrible Classica the other day, man. And
Me and you last year, innit?
the joke is he scored in it though, so people wouldn't realize it. But yeah, you conceded the penalty, he got caught out on one of the goals. You get what I'm saying? But I'm not going to let one game define that. He's a good player, comfortable on the ball as well, which is what you want there. Which is why obviously you mentioned Senesi because he's comfortable on the ball too. But yeah, I'll tell you what, it would be underwhelming. A lot of Liverpool fans would find it underwhelming, but if we was to stay in the Prem,
Mm,
but obviously with that tax, British tax, because obviously he's Welsh, I've been
yeah.
impressed whenever I've watched Ethan Ampadu this season. I've known from when he was been
Hey,
proper young that he was a good
yeah.
player. But
At
yeah, he's
Chelsea,
come
right?
to his own in Leeds. Yeah,
Mm,
Chelsea, yeah, they come to his own in Leeds. And what I'm trying to think. And the reason why I know what players I want, but like flipping, they'd cost an arm and a leg, and we already spent an arm and a leg
mm.
in the summer just gone. So I'm trying to think of like whether they're prem proof or whatever players that wouldn't
No,
cost
I hear
them
you.
to aid spending on other positions because, as you've spoken about, Diamande, as much as we like him, he's going to cost a stupid amount of money. You
Yeah,
know,
it's gonna cost a lot of
Leipzig,
money.
Leipzig don't sell easily. You get what I'm saying? And
No.
the joke is because of Noosa's form and his form, they brought in Bakayoko, and Bakayoko. I don't know if he got injury as well. Has not got as many minutes as he would have liked,
No.
such as been Diamande's form. Um, So yeah, it will be interesting. Another a DM I like, but obviously age, we probably wouldn't go for it. And the joke is he's played a lot at centre half as well this season. Is Shelton, the Dutch midfielder,
Oh
but
yeah.
he's played a decent amount of centre half this
Is that
season actually.
the
Um,
PSV player, right?
yeah, yeah, they got him. He was
Yeah,
in
he's
Serie A,
cold.
had a good Euros as well. I just want
Yeah, I
someone
remember.
tenacious, but is good on the ball, can carry the ball and pass it and that as well. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we've got so many. My head's hurting because we've got so many
Mhm,
issues. I'm thinking, look at the money we
mhm.
spent, and
A
we
lot
could
of issues,
honestly
yeah.
might have to go near that again, bro. We might have to spend it sheer
Now,
minimum from that.
well, definitely, I feel like this calls for like a more detailed show, so we'll have to do that in the coming weeks because
Mm,
we'll kind of. I feel like we have to kind of map it out as well. It's not as easy as said than done. 'Cause obviously, we can give a shopping list of who we like, but it's not always necessarily
yeah,
the outcome
realistic.
because you have to find the right players for the right club and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
So for me, um, as I mentioned, the left back I would personally upgrade now, which sounds a bit cutthroat, but I'm
yeah,
trying to think a bit more astute in terms of what the club should do. Because if you're gonna get rid of a legend like Robertson, I'm expecting you to upgrade on that player. I'm not expecting you to bring back Simicast, who respectively is a decent player, but he's not Robertson either. So we've
but you know,
already downgraded the level of quality
yeah,
on that.
yeah. Sorry,
So that's not good.
sorry, Bournemouth fans, but we might have to look at you again because I'll tell you what. To be
Tougher.
fair, to be fair, yeah, I've been
He's
impressed.
alright, you know. He's got a good
We might
cross on
have
him.
to we might have to good cross on him and puts in the tackles and that. So we have to come for you again, Bournemouth. But if we have to
You know
go
what?
for
They got a
Brighton,
couple of good players, you know. They got Ryan, the Brazilian right winger.
Brighton's a bad boy. But the joke is, I was reading one Liverpool thing. It was a forum, and there
Yeah.
was a Brazilian guy in there, and he said basically Liverpool were trying to get Alan because they originally wanted Rayan, but they didn't go for it again of what we were talking about
Ah,
in regards to obviously waiting for other teams to buy him, and they didn't think he'd acclimatise so quickly. So now they're trying to get Alan before someone else gets him, but that was not the
that is
number one option.
typical Liverpool, that isn't it? That
So,
is
so
typical Liverpool.
you get what I'm saying, and and yeah, we sold it. That guy coming. The thing is as well, he's good on the ball, dribbling and whatnot, but he's good in the air, which from a player
Yeah,
that plays the way how he plays, you're not expecting that.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, so it's
Even their striker looks good as well. Creepy,
it kills me.
the young kid.
Creepy's a finisher, bro. I've been gassing him
Yeah,
up
it's
because I
lethal.
thought, who is this guy? And then earlier in the season, very early, they drew with Leeds and he got a late equaliser and scored a volley. So I've just been watching him closely from then. And then obviously he's in the French
Yeah.
under 21 squads as well. But though he's a finisher, he plays anywhere across the front line. Though I
Mm,
believe, you can tell by the way he finishes that he's a nine. But
yeah.
because France have got that, the under 21s are just littered with these the dogs, as they say in basketball. You get what I'm saying? So he's on
Yeah.
the bench more often than not. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
flipping, he's a he's a finisher, bro. Shoots
Mm,
with no back as well from outside the box and that as well. I fear.
yeah.
I know we won't because obviously Isak and Ekatike, but you never know if Ekatike gets injury that Man United are going to try and get him, and that's what I fear. You get what I'm saying?
Mm, yeah. I think you're
Weird,
right.
but yeah,
I
yeah,
hope not.
finisher,
He's a
finisher.
finisher.
Well, not we get him, but they'll go for him because you know how they are. But
Yeah.
they'll go. You get what I'm saying? I mean, so Arteta's love
Mm,
of Havertz, I think, will stop Arsenal from trying to get him. Hopefully, anyway. And that if they get a finisher like that, then boy, that doesn't
they
necessarily mean
need one.
he can strike
Mm,
the ball with ease, minimal
yeah.
backlift from long distance and that as well. But yeah, could be the finisher. Yeah, sorry Bournemouth, sorry Brighton, but we're just going
Yeah,
to
we
be
might have
picking
to rate them.
than you guys will. But I didn't mention Belieber because I know that they want close to 100 million for him, and I don't believe he's worth that. No DMC in this
No,
world should be costing three figures, but it's
no,
happened.
no.
We were going to do it for Sachado, you get what I'm saying? But
And I
he's
think his
been
stock's gone down this season. I don't think he's performed that well,
recently,
personally.
especially Sachado, recently, especially. Oh, you mean
Mm,
Belieber? Stock has gone down.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. But also as well,
mm,
even just mentioned Sachado. Recently, he's been
yeah.
awful.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially the last 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. He's not really done much.
He's not done much,
But
no.
yeah, Belieber definitely, yeah, stocks gone down. He's not even always starting either because obviously they can plug in with centre mid. Ayari
Mm.
is another good player. Sorry, Brighton. Sorry, Bournemouth. Then Ayari at Bournemouth is another good player, bro. You get what
Oh,
I'm
yeah, he's
saying?
good. Yeah. He's a
Um,
Swedish one, isn't he? Swedish
yeah,
midfielder.
Swedish. Yeah.
Yeah, he's cold. He's multifunctional
Tena-
as well. He can play at different positions, so he'll
yeah,
be quite versatile for us.
tenacious, and he's got a shot on him as well, bro. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of Prem people, even though they'll be Prem
Do you
tax
know what?
and
That was going to be my stance as well. I think this summer we have to try and go for Premier League proven players, which sounds very
yeah,
simplistic, but I think that's the way we should go because you want someone to come in and just hit the ground running and not have that long period of time where they need to climatize to the way the football is played
yeah,
here. And I feel
yeah,
like if we have scouted properly, we know that the players that we are trying to bring in are more than comfortable of playing that physical level of football. And that's I feel like that's the route the Premier League is going towards. So I feel like that's very, very important. So in terms of my five, I don't think we'll get left back personally. I think the plan is Simicast returns, plays for another year, and then
yeah.
next summer is the year we upgrade. So the player I like is Nathaniel Brown. Maybe that's a signing for next summer rather than this summer. So I'll eliminate that for now. Um Centre we've got Van Dyke. I think Kanate will stay, Jacque,
Mm,
Leone, and
mm,
Gomez. So if Konate doesn't sign, then I would go for a Senesi. You have an experienced
yeah,
defender in
mm,
the squad, but even for now, I don't think I need to add one. To be fair, What I will say is, I think we need to sign a right back. I don't think that's probably anyone's top of their shortlist,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Bradley's been out for a large part of the season. I don't know when his return is.
Injuries.
Frimpong, he was not injury prone before, but he's picked up quite a few injuries as well. But the thing with Frimpong is that we can always just label him as a right winger on paper if that needs
Yeah,
be. It could be Bradley and another right back. So I'm looking at the table. I'm looking at the teams at the bottom because that is a perfect opportunity to
but bro,
invade those teams and take a few players. So if Tottenham were to get relegated, I might look at someone like a Jed Spence. I feel like that would be
you can play
a
on both sides. Yeah,
and he can
just
play on
Spence.
both sides, and he's
Yeah,
homegrown as well.
yeah, yeah,
If not him, I also do like Pedro Porro. He's a player that I actually said last season to sign to replace Trent, but we
yeah.
went down the Frimpong route. So, which I don't mind. I do like Frimpong as well.
Do you know who
But
I?
Jed
Do you know who I
Spence, I
want?
think would be.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, sorry, go. Finish.
No, I was gonna say Jed Spence. I feel like you said, because of his versatility and the way he's always performed against Salah on that that left back position,
Yeah,
I know he can play both positions very well, and it might be
yeah.
where we need versatile players going forward as well. So I think maybe Jess Spence could be a shout.
Yeah, they're nowhere near the relegation teams, but for the fact that obviously, if need be, you can fill in at centre half as well. Mukwele
And
at
he's a,
Sunderland.
Jess Spence is quite tall as well, so and I like his where I feel like he's very physical, but going forward as well, he's very dynamic. So I feel like he's got a
Yeah,
good all round game.
he's calm. He's calm on the ball going forward. But yeah,
Yeah.
Those Sunderland are nowhere near the relegation zone. I would take Mukwele all day long, but he'd cost
Mm,
an arm and a leg, bruv.
he could do,
Mukwele
yeah.
is, you get me, and he can slot in as a right-sided centre half if needed as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's players out there that are already in this league. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That could make a difference. He'd cost too much, and I'm sure he's had a new contract. But I like Murillo as well. And
Yeah.
in terms of centre halves, because we were talking about that before, I like Murillo at Forest as well. Though he's had one
Oh,
or
has he
two
signed a
dodgy
new
injuries
contract?
recently. I'm sure Murillo. I think I heard he signed a new
Oh,
contract at Forest.
okay.
We have
I
to
do like Murillo as well.
double
I
check
do
on
like
him.
Murillo. I think the concern would be, and it's not me trying to be rude here, but his height because he's like 5'10", so that's it doesn't look it too fair. When I see him on the pitch, I don't feel like he's that short, but apparently that's his height. So I always feel like with our centre back, we always go for 6'3", like powering sort of centre backs. But I like the way he plays football. I like the way he distributes the ball. Good left foot on him, aggressive, strong. And he can shoot as well, which is a bit of a bonus. So
I think
do you
I'm
like
sure
Murillo?
I heard. I'm sure I heard Murillo used to be a left back, which would make sense in
Oh,
regards to
that would make sense as well. Yeah, yeah,
how comfortable he is on the ball and the way he drives forward and that.
would-
And as you said, the height,
yeah, yeah.
the height as well.
That'll provide cover for two positions there. So that
Yeah,
does make perfect sense. So for me, I think right back has to be something we address. Left back, personally, I would go for an upgrade, but I think we'll most likely see Simicast for another year. And if we wanted to sign an experienced one, I'd go for Senesi on a free transfer. He's not going to break an arm and a leg in regards to the finances involved. And like Double D said, Richard Hughes likes to go back to his old place and get a few bits and bobs. So maybe he'll do that with Senesi. Um, in terms of the DM, you already mentioned two players I like, Schumann and Camavinga. They are the dream players. With Camavinga potentially leaving, I would love to sign him, but I don't know how realistic it is. Stiller is definitely one that I considered. But like you said, whenever I've watched him live, I've not been overly impressed in terms of what I've seen. And I see him more box to box as well at times.
yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah.
because of the team that he plays for, where he
Mhm.
maybe because he's got such great passing range, he feels like he needs to be involved in the
Yeah,
final
yeah,
third a
yeah,
bit more. Maybe if he joined Liverpool, his role will be a bit more restricted in that regards, where
yeah,
we say, look, defense first. You don't need to go. We've got Sobozlai and all these mans. They can go forward for you. You just got to sit back and protect the
yeah,
back four.
yeah, yeah.
So Stiller is definitely a shout. But if I'm looking inside the Premier League, these might not be names that are glorious or names that people are going to be queuing up for. But I do like the look of João Gomez from Wolves and of course
Mm,
they look like they're getting relegated. So I feel like he could be a dynamic player. Player we were actually very close to signing before he went to
yeah,
Wolves. So we've definitely done our homework on him. I feel like he can play as a DM, but can also play that box to box role very well. And I see him quite as a tenacious, aggressive tackler as well. We need
mm,
that a bit of a bite in our midfield. I like Fernandez, who we spoke about previously from West Ham. So one of
mm,
those players I think could fit the bill, and they're Premier League proven as well. Uh, two wingers, definitely we need to get two wingers. For the right wing, of course, we already know who the dream is. The dream is Michael Olise. I don't think it's going to happen, quite frankly. So I think, out of all the signings, I've not really gone for big names or players that would demand big transfer fees. Actually, I forgot one player, Wharton. Wharton would be someone that I'd go for the centre mid
Waller.
role that can play DM. So he'd be on the expensive side. If we were to sell McAllister, then I guess that would be for me the replacement for him.
Mm,
Um, so I'd go for Wharton, but if we're going for a player to add to a squad, then maybe a Jao Gomez or Fernandez will tick those boxes. In
mm.
terms of the right winger, I think I have a gut feeling we'll end up signing Diamonde. I think that's the guy that comes through. I know he's going to cost a bit, but I think that's the one that they're probably going to put all the eggs in one basket. Um, Left wing. Now, this might surprise a few in terms of who I'm going to say. The prediction from the chat will be, oh, Ozzy's going to say Bradley Barcola because that's his guy, apparently. Yes, of course, I do like him, but I don't think he's realistic and I don't think we're going to target him. The player that I feel like we should probably go for is Anthony Gordon.
I knew you were going to say that. As soon as you set it up, I knew you were going to say it. Do you know that Bayern Munich are looking at him?
I know. But I feel the
Bayern are
more
looking at
I'm
him
like
probably.
thinking about it, and I'm thinking in the in terms of the bigger picture as well. If he was to join someone that's ready made for the league, that's number one. Scouser, boyhood red, number two, that's already ticked off. Best friends with Curtis Jones, that's another thing ticked off. But the way he plays is something we've lacked. We've lacked to play on the counter in that transition. And then go and what I've seen in him this season as well, he can play on the right wing quite comfortably. So he provides versatility for both wings. Homegrown, so that's another tick box there as well. And he can even play up top if we need to have another player to,
You're,
rotate with.
you're
That's
not perturbed. You're not perturbed that he went a year in Prem without an open play goal. You're not,
bloody hell.
that doesn't perturb you at all. That he
No,
went that long.
that is a concern. I'm not gonna lie,
A year, bro.
but then his Champions League form kind of shows me that look, if we play him the right way, he could be quite prolific in our team. And then also another plus point would be that he's already got a good partnership with Isak, so they already understand each other on the pitches. That's another plus point. And
Okay,
also,
okay.
I'm looking out for Rio and Gamoa. I would personally have Rio as a starting winger next season, but what I would do is rotate the two. So at least you know that with Rio, you give him that boost of confidence. But when we need a different type of player, Gordon can come and play on the left. Or there might be games where we need out and out wingers. Gordon on the right and Rio on the left. We've got two direct wingers there, plus Yandu Monde. So I'm trying to provide as much cover as possible. So having three wingers on the books like that, I feel like it would tick. So it's funny because last season I was like, yeah, I don't want him. But the thing is, I'm thinking what's right for the club and the team rather than players that I
Yeah.
like. Of course, I like certain players as we all do,
Homegrown. Yeah.
but I think it does make. I think this might be the right time to sign him because I think we're going to sign him at some point. So why not do it now? And I feel like we need that type of player that's quick in the transition, quick on that counter attack, and can help us in the final third. So that's the one I'm going for, which is yeah, I'm sure will surprise a few. So my five is pretty much Gordon, Diamonde, let's say Wharton, because I do like Wharton, Jed Spence, and maybe Senesi if we were to sign a centre. If we are going for a left back, then I would go for a Brown. So that's my five there. So yeah, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think in terms of the players that we've mentioned. We're just gonna go through some of the comments and then we will dive in into the match preview with our predicted lineup, score predictions, and then we'll also do the WrestleMania segment. So if you're waiting for the WrestleMania segment, please hold tight. We will get there very, very shortly. Um, let's go on. What was the last comment? Wayne says, for Verts to work, McAllister needs to be sold. They can't play in the same team together. Copies say it too. I hear what you're saying. I think it's not just because I don't think it's they're not aligned with each other. History will tell you with Florian Wirtz, whenever he's played in that number 10 role, he's had a proper DM behind him. So that gives him that assurance to go forward. McAllister doesn't have that in his locker. He's not that type of player. Gravenberg isn't, I feel like he can play that 6 role, but naturally he likes to roam around as well. So we kind of need a static number 6 that will protect the back line and allow Florian Wirtz as the number 10 to go forward. So I feel like McAllister's role is kind of just it's a bit outdated now. We need to evolve, and then we need to try and get that bona fide number 6, in my opinion. So, um, if he was to stay, they can still play in the same team, but we need to change the dynamics. We need to add a number 6 alongside
Mm.
McAllister and Verts, if that makes sense. So that's the way I would look at it going forward. Wayne says, "I want us to get a left winger, right winger, DM, centre back, right back." That's the same positions that I've gone for as well. Yeah, I don't think we'll get a left back. I think they're just going to be lazy and bring back Simicast because it doesn't involve any finances. And I think he's got 1 year left on his contract as well, like Gomez. Don't forget, we need to get homegrown players. That's why I've listed Jed Spence. That's a homegrown player right there. And I've
And
also said Walker. That's another homegrown player. I'm also going for Gordon. So I've listed 3 homegrown players in my 5 selections there. So we tick a lot of boxes, but they are still good quality players in their own merits as well. Wayne says this summer will depend on us getting Champions League, but also with what Slot has produced this season, who wants to play for him? I hear you. I do hear that sort of point. Um, but the proposition of playing for a club like Liverpool should be enough to get someone on board. So that's the way I'm looking at it going forward. Daz, I can see your lineup there, so I'll present that after we've presented ours. Wayne says Ozzie Gordon has just gone a whole candidate about scoring. Yeah, that's what Double D mentioned. I hear you, but maybe if he plays in his, his boyhood team, he might elevate himself even further. So I'm trying to give him a bit of credit here, which is surprising because I've been, I've not been uh, very positive about him in the last 12 to 18 months, but
pe-
maybe,
people were
we can
twerking.
all change.
People were twerking for him last summer to replace
Yeah.
Diaz, and now Diaz has been sold. Now they're saying we shouldn't have sold Diaz, but this is the thing when you do things on YouTube. We could clip you up. Yeah, you saw man them dancing. Yeah, for Gordon.
Listen, for me, I was definitely not twerking for Gordon, but for me, it's like, do you know
To
what?
replace
Also, as well, I
yeah,
feel like the left wing market is not as there's not a lot of options. I do like Nusa from Leipzig as
yeah.
well. I do like the look of him. Um, but I'm also thinking in terms of like the quotas and all that sort of stuff. And I feel like with Gordon, because of what comes with it in terms of him being a Liverpool fan, I feel like you just get a bit more from someone like that. So that's why
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
looking
yeah,
towards
yeah.
him.
And
Uh,
he speaks about it quite openly as well. The means he doesn't
yeah, he's
like.
been very open about it. Yeah. And with Isak already there, Jones, his best mate, like it kind of ticks a lot of boxes as well. So hopefully, if he was to come, then he opens up or gives Alexander Isak the ammunition to score goals. So it could work well in that regards. Also, Anthony Gordon could also potentially leave Newcastle this summer, Bayern being most linked team. And you did try to sign him in the summer. Yeah, so we have tried to sign him in the past. So that's been no hidden secret. In terms of buying, I like Double D also mentioned, they are linked to him as well, but they're also linked to the likes of Gakpo. So let's see, who they go for. It might be where because Diaz is probably going to be their first choice, so they might go for like a Nusa, that type of player who would be more of an understudy rather than someone that comes in to replace him. So it depends in terms of what the profile is. I don't think they'll get someone to overtake Diaz, in my opinion. Uh, and he's a prick to the team. He said he's a fan of. Um, I'm not saying you guys should sign him. I think he's like overrated. In terms of Gordon, I'm not his biggest fan, but I feel like for me, okay, this is how I'm viewing it. Rio as the first choice left winger, and then Gordon as his backup. And I think as a backup, he's not a bad backup, is he? So That's the
But
long-term vision that I
do you
have.
think he would leave? Though he supports Liverpool, do you think he would leave Newcastle if he was told that he's going to be backing up a teenager?
That's the trick of the salesman. You don't tell them that they're the backup, but when they come, unfortunately, they're gonna have to touch bench. So that's what I would do. But then also, if he wants to step up and really deliver in terms of performance in the training and stepped up in the match day, it benefits us. So it's a more of a psychological thing. So I will tell him
Mm.
that he comes in and he's got a young player who's gonna learn off him. But in my head, I'm thinking, no, this young kid, he's gonna overtake him. So that's the way I would do it going forward. Okay, so let's move on and discuss the match that's taking place this weekend. So Everton currently eighth in the table, 5 points
Mhm.
behind us. We're currently fifth. In the last 5 games, as Oza mentioned earlier on, 3 wins, a draw, and a defeat, which also Double D mentioned. It was at the hands of Arsenal, but they were very lucky to get that win there. So honestly speaking, this will not be a walk in the park. Everton are playing with a bit more unity, and they seem a bit more together as a squad under David Moyes, which is not surprising because he's a very experienced coach at this level. And the game will be taking place at their new stadium. So let's see what kind of noise and atmosphere is going to be presented. As we all know, Goodison Park, that place used to be hostile with the crowd so close to the pitch. I think it'll be a different type of atmosphere. But I'm looking forward to this one. But at the same time, the question is to Double D as well, where is Liverpool's headspace right now? Because normally when you lose a game like you did against PSG, you want an instant reaction, you want aggression, you want someone to be all guns blazing.
Mhm.
But do you think it's going to be a response from this current squad? Because I don't really feel that. I don't really feel like that is the way that they are going to be set out in this fixture.
Unfortunately, not. I don't look.
Mm,
I when Everton started off this season, I don't know whether or not the board told Moyes, look, we're going to charge more for tickets at the Hill Dickinson, so we know what your style is, but we need you to be a bit more attacking. And they started off the season and they produced some of the best football in Prem. When they started the season off, and Grealish was getting assists. Um, but then they were looking open defensively. But since I'd say probably since they got slapped about at home by Tottenham, well, I say slapped about, it wasn't really slapping about because a couple of goals from set pieces for Van der Ven and that. Um,
yeah,
and since then, it looks like he's found more of a balance in terms of more defense and organization and
yeah,
robustness that we associate with Moyes' team. But they've attacked
yeah,
freely as well because in Dye's got on the ball, he's beating people. Dewsbury Hall can carry the ball from a central area.
yeah,
He's finally brought Dwight McNeil back in the team, and I don't know why Tyler Diblin, when he's fit, has not
yeah,
got more minutes. But whatever, because I'm a fan of his. I saw him at Southampton twisting and turning people. I think that he
yeah.
looks
He's
like
a
he could
quality
be
player.
quite useful, but they've not really used him. So now they found a balance, and Barry had a run of games where he was scoring, and now Beto is having that streak that he has before he'll go quiet and whatnot. Again, they look quite useful, and they bopped Chelsea off the pitch just before the international break.
Yeah,
And to be
they did.
perfectly realistic, if we don't come with a certain energy, as I said earlier, form means nothing in a derby. But
No,
here, they look better than we do at the moment, regardless of the fact they got a lot and took a last minute goal from Dewsbury Hall for them to get a
yeah,
draw against Brentford. So I'm quite worried about this game, especially if we go behind as well, because the backbone and we're not mentality monsters no more. So if we go behind,
no.
we just look like we just capitulate. So this is a huge game, and it's one of the games I'm worried about that could stop us from getting Champions League football via the league, to
Yeah,
be honest.
it's a banana skin fixture. It really is because, like you said, in Merseyside derby, the form doesn't really play a part sometimes. But it's not really about form. It's about our kind of stance right now, where we're low in confidence. We've got low morale, as Ozan mentioned as well. They are full of confidence. So even if it's about form or not, they're in a better mind frame than us. And I don't feel like this coach is the type to rally everyone together and get everyone firing again. I don't see that. I don't see that fire in his belly. He's not that type of coach. He's too laid back. He's too chilled. Probably doesn't even talk to his players and lets the other coaches do the talking for him. So I don't really like the way he manages, and football from a fan's point of view and also from a player's point of view, it's an emotional game. So you've got to play with emotions, especially when things aren't going well. But
Mm.
the thing is, like we just seem like we're just it's weird. We don't have any identity the way we play. We don't have a style. We don't have a tempo in terms of how we play the game. We're so flat. It is unbelievable. It really is. So it's worrying times, and I don't know where we are in terms of this fixture. I don't know if we're going to respond, or we're going to be, in a fiery sort of spirit. I don't see it personally. So it's going to be interesting in terms of the team selection for Everton. I don't think Jack Grealish will be available. I think he was absent, but
No, no,
unfortunately
no,
he's got
Grealish is out for the season, if I'm not
he's out,
mistaken. They
isn't
said that
he?
time ago. I was just
Yeah,
mentioning his
so,
name earlier in regards to how they started off the season. They were loose, but they looked good
uh,
going forward, and now they've got a balance where Grealish was out a long time. Mm.
So he's out. He's out for. So he won't be available. Alcrez could be involved, but I think he did pick up an injury recently, so he might be in the squad rather than in the starting lineup. And he had some doubts in terms of fitness, but he did play against Brentford last weekend. In terms of Liverpool, of course, we received some bad news in regards to Hugo Ekitike, who unfortunately has ruptured his Achilles, so he could be out for potentially a minimum of 9 months. So for me, thoughts and prayers for the player in terms of his speedy recovery. Hopefully, he's in positive spirits, and hopefully, he comes back in his old form, because a lot of fans are already dismissing, saying, "Oh, his career is done," all this sort of stuff. Look, everyone is different. We're all unique in our own ways. Just because other players haven't rediscovered their form doesn't mean he won't either. And with
Mm.
the modern sort of science, technology, all that sort of stuff, in sports, that hopefully there's a plan for him to get back to his old self. So for me, health is more important. So hopefully he gets back to good health, and hopefully we see him in action next season. In regards to the squad, Allison, Bradley, Leone, Endo, they remain on the sidelines. So what we'll do now is we'll present the graphic. We'll do the Everton team. I think the Everton team is going to be quite straightforward, so there won't be too much discussion in regards to that. And then we'll have a discussion about the Liverpool team, which we can decide together. So in terms of the Everton team, it's going to be Pickford in goal, and then you've got, is it Mikolenko? I think he will play. If I
The
can spell
left
his
back.
name, there he is, left back, and then O'Brien,
Yeah,
who's been he's been pretty much
who's
their mainstay right back, hasn't he, this season?
yeah, he's actually a centre back, but he does
He
well
is.
there for them, man.
They signed him from Leon as well, isn't it? They got him on from
Yeah,
Leon, so
yeah.
yeah, decent player. Then you've got Tarkovsky. There we go. And then you've got
Brentford.
Branthwaite. Yeah, I think he'll be starting. So that's the defensive line. And then you've got Ghana.
Yeah, he's had a very good season.
He's been very solid, to be
And
fair.
this is why I fear them because even if we start playing better than them, they've got the legs in midfield. Garner's always clearing the ball, sticking his foot in and whatnot. Guy doesn't stop running. I swear he's like
Yeah.
36 now, something like that. You get what I'm saying? Does not stop running. They're going to murder us in the engine room with the wind. So this
Yeah.
is the problem, bro. Mm,
That's the concern, because we haven't really gone like head to head with teams in regards to midfield, because we're not, we're a team that gets walked over very, very easily. So the midfield battle is going to be key tomorrow, and it doesn't bode too much confidence, if I'm being honest with you, in terms of how we've played recently. In terms of the final third, or should I say, the attacking positions, and
mm.
I expect him to play on the left hand side. Do you think he'll go with Dibbling, or do you think he'll continue to play McNeil on the right hand side?
I think we'll continue to go with McNeil.
McNeil,
He'll
yeah,
continue to go with
because
McNeil.
he
Yeah.
knows his end product, I guess. So yeah, I think you're right there. And Dewsbury Hall playing with a bit more freedom. in this team and will
Bro,
continue to
bro,
play.
this brother at Leicester's already run through our team and scored. So with the
Yeah,
space
he
that we're
has.
good, the space that we're given at the moment, bro, he's going to be relishing in it, playing in that role, bro, against a Liverpool team that don't want to work hard. Like we could. I've never in my life participated in a derby where I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that like we could get creamed.
Moved.
Pause. Like honestly, and it won't even necessarily be because they played great football or anything like that. It could just be because of the fact that they outwork us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
outwork us, and the chances will come. And obviously, we've shown we haven't got as much confidence in Mamadashvili as we do in Allison. For obvious reasons,
mhm,
Allison is a all-time goalkeeper in terms of Liverpool's history. So
yeah.
yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad. It makes you not even want to talk about the game so much.
Trust me. That's why I tried to talk about other topics today. Uh, now, in terms of the striker, do you think they're going to stick with Beto, or do you think Barry might get a nod in terms of this starting lineup?
I think they'll stick with Beto because he's the man in form. Scored, I think he's got 4 in 5 or something like that. Or it might even
Yeah,
be 5 in 5. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so yeah, I think they'll stick with Beto. And he's one of them ones. He's streaky, but even if he's not going to score, he puts himself about a bit, and he's going to open up space
yeah.
for the others. So, I mean, so
I
more
remember last
likely
season he caused Van Dijk and Konate havoc with his
problems. Yeah,
physical presence. So I think,
yeah,
and because you mentioned that he's in good goal scoring form as well, I think he'll definitely start.
yeah.
So this is the Everton lineup. I'm sure most people agree this is what the team should be or what we expect to see this Sunday. So what we'll do now is we will switch over and then we will talk about the Liverpool team now. So I don't think there'll be too many debates because there's not many goalkeepers available, but it will be Mamadashvili
Man
in
said
goal.
Woodman's going to go, bro. What are you talking about?
You know what? I'm all for it. To be fair, I know his distribution is better than Mamadashvili, so
And
I wouldn't even
Woodman's,
mind that.
Woodman's decent on the ball as well, you know. But
Yeah, he's good.
you
Yeah,
know,
I remember watching preseason. He's good on the ball. So yeah, I would not even mind that. To be fair, but I think Slot will go with the more experienced, or not that experienced, because Woodman's older than him, isn't he? But he'll go for the Mamadashvili
yeah.
in between the sticks. Right back. Who do you think is going to go for right back?
Oh God, who the hell's fit? I think it'll be Frimpo.
Me too. I agree as well.
I think it will be Frimmers.
Ping pong. Who
But
do you see at left back?
anything goes with this man. I can't predict the start. Do you remember the days when we used to complain about Klopp's
Yeah.
starting 11s being predictable? Now we
Yeah.
don't know we don't know what
No, we
level we're
don't
gonna.
know.
It
Yeah.
depends on what side of the bed that flipping Slot wakes
Yeah.
up on. Now.
Like this formation might be complete. We might play a 4-2-2-2,
Yeah, yeah,
4-4-2
yeah.
diamond. I don't know what we're gonna play. So let's see what happens. Left back, do you think he'll go for experience in Robertson, or do you think he'll go for youth in
I'd, I'd,
Kirkes?
I'd love him to put Robinson in, but it'll probably be Kirk as well. So he better have a good
Yeah.
game because he's annoyed me in so many games this season. I reckon he's
Yeah,
better than what he's shown thus far.
I agree. Yeah. He hasn't there's been games where he has shown that Bournemouth form, but it hasn't come at large amounts for me.
There's a couple of it, and sometimes it's not even full games. Second
Yeah,
half against Everton, second half against Everton at Anfield, second half against Arsenal.
yeah,
Because Madueke was giving him some problems in the first half at Anfield. He was very good in the cup game against Brighton. That's probably his best
yeah.
performance in terms of a full game so far. But I'd play Robbo, but yeah, he's going to go Kirkes, man. So we just have to hope he
Okay.
improves.
Yeah, and the defense pretty much chooses itself, so it's going to be Van Dijk,
Mm,
and unless you think Joe Gomez is going to start, but I think it's safe to say Konate will start. And he had a good game against PSG in the second leg, to be fair.
yeah.
Midfield, who you going within the double pivot?
Gravenberch, even though we need to see more, but it's in part because of the way that he's been deployed by uh, Slot rather than anything.
Hmm,
This free role, as you've spoken about, just
yeah,
leaving too much space for the opposition, man. Mm.
yeah,
And with the way McAllister's legs are at the moment, I wouldn't put him there. But um, I'd actually, for control, I'd play Jones, but he's not going to do that, is he? So you might as well just put
I agree. I would go with Jones for this one, but I think he will go with McAllister. Not my choice. I think Jones is perfectly suited for this game, with it being a Merseyside derby. But in terms of his style of play, you need a bit more of a control in that midfield rather than playmaker as such. Um, but McAllister for me lacks that physical presence as well. And we mentioned Garner and Gay as well, and it's going to be a thing where their physicality is going to be imposing to us. So we have to step up against them. I don't think Jones will definitely give it a fight, but I don't see that in McAllister. But this is what we're predicting in terms of what Arne Slot will do. So
yeah,
we'll leave it at that. But the choice will be for me and Double D is to play Jones alongside Gravenberch. Uh,
yeah.
does he start Salah? That's a big question for you.
I'm going to say yeah, but it's no guarantee. Just only because of the fact he didn't start, though he had to come on early. I think he envisioned that he doesn't want to start in 2 games in a row. But Salah has shown
Yeah,
if there's ever a player of his age that would be able to hack all the minutes, it would be Salah because of the condition he keeps himself in. So I'll
yeah,
go for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not in because I just don't know what this man's doing at times
I
right
hear
about
you.
now.
Who plays in that number 10 role?
I'll go Dom because the Dom has to start unless he beats a donkey and plays him at right back. But Dom is the only
Yeah,
Liverpool player you can say has to start every game, which is why I don't know
facts.
when we have a cushion, he doesn't get taken off earlier. Like as soon as
Yeah,
we got
true.
that fourth goal against Galatasaray, he should have been taken off. He came off
Taking on
eventually,
resting.
but yeah, rest him because he's too important to the team. If
I
everyone had
agree.
his mentality, we'd have at least
Yeah,
5 more points in
we
the league this season. At
trust me,
least.
it's so true. Yeah, he's definitely a stand-up performer for Liverpool this season. Who starts on the left for you? You've got Rio, you've got Gakpo, you've got Verts. Who would you go with?
I would love Rio to play, but I think it's going to be Verts.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I would go with as well.
Yeah, I think he'll go
And up
Verts.
top, are you expecting to be Isak or Gakpo to lead the line?
I think Isak will play 50 or 55 minutes and then Gakpo will come on.
Yeah, Isak up top.
Only way to get match fitness is to be in the match, baby.
Yeah,
So,
you
yeah.
got to start. It's there's no point of like you know, put him in cotton wool anymore. You started him against PSG, so you got to stick with your stance now. You got to play him every game now because we don't have a striker. We've missed out on Ekatika due to his injury. So it's either him or Gakpo. But I think either way it could work. But I'm expecting. I would rather go for Isak in the start and then bring on Gakpo in the second half as well. So this is our predicted lineup, guys. So feel free to drop a comment and let us know what you think. Just go through some of the comments, and then we'll present our score predictions, and then we'll move on to do our WrestleMania prediction segment. So let's start with Daz. That's Daz's team. That is not how you pronounce his name, or that's how you spell his name. Mohammed Dasvili is not how you, it's Mama Dasvili. um,
Mama.
Frimpong, Ibu, Virgil and Robbo, so he's gone for Robbo. Ryan, Gravenberch, Jones, Dom, and then you've got Mo, and you've got Isak, and you've got Verts and Rio. Is that not more than 12 players? That's 12 players, isn't it? Or am I bugging out?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it's 12. 12 there,
12
Daz.
players, so yeah, you got to take one out, Daz. um, trying to do a little cheat code there, but yeah, I'll see that's a lot of players there. Uh,
Well, but we could play with the way how things are tactically for us at the moment. We could play
we
12
might
men and
need 12
still
players.
lose, and still lose, bro. We will beat
Can you
Everton
imagine?
3-0, 5-0. Sorry, Salah
5-0.
hat trick, Rio brace verts with all the assists. Then we wake up. I'd love that to happen, but
Yeah.
boy,
A lot. Yeah, I was getting excited there when he says verts that all the assists. I'm thinking dollar signs right there for my client. You know what I mean?
that should try it out. I heard you get a bonus anytime he gets an assist. So.
Yeah. Trust me, those paychecks have been quiet recently. They were quite free flowing in January, but yeah, it's been quiet
There you
in
go.
recent
Yeah.
weeks. To be fair,
Yeah.
um, Wayne says Frimpong will play right back till he gets injured again. Did you see the report that came out yesterday about why Frimpong keeps getting injured? Can't remember the name or who wrote it. I have a bad memory of the names. So I can't remember mine half of the time. I haven't read that to be fair, but I'll try and look into that. That'll be interesting to see what that is. Daz says take Rio out. Okay, fine. So no Rio in the starting lineup for Daz. So he's gone for Verts, Isak, and Mohamed Salah. And his score prediction is a 4-0 victory. I love the positivity there. So Verts, Brace, Salah, and Isak. So over to you, Double D. What is your score prediction for this game?
You know, I'd love to be optimistic, but because I fear I have my doubts, I have to go with a score line that suits it. So I don't never like to predict we're going to lose, so I'm going to say a draw.
Okay. What's the score
But
line
if
that
you,
you're going with?
but I'm going to go with a 1-1 or
Okay.
2-2 draw. But if I had a gun held to my head, then I would say that we might lose. And I don't never like to say that. We need to don't concede in the first half and then see what you can do, man. Do not concede in the first half and see what I can do.
Yeah.
If we
In fact,
lose
we
and
have
Man
to.
If we lose and then City lose to Arsenal, then you might not see me on a podcast for a while on any form.
I might close the channel altogether, mate. Trust me. Especially if Slot's the manager next season. I'm already thinking about next season right now. So yeah, let's see what that holds. But yeah, I hear you in terms of this game as well. For me,
But
I'll try and remain positive. I think we will nick the win. I
oh,
think we'll
hey, yeah,
win two
it's
two
energy.
one. I think we'll win 2-1. It won't be it won't be a great performance. It will be an ugly win where we just about nick it. In turn, so the score I'm going for is 2-1, and the goal scorers I think Ndai will score for Everton. For Liverpool, I'm expecting it to be the Egyptian King and Dominic Szoboszlai to be the goal scorer. So that is my prediction. There's a few comments in the chat. H, big up H. He says 2-1 loss. Yeah, I've gone for 2-1 win. So
Oh
yeah,
my,
we're in different spectrums there.
oh no,
And Wayne's gone for 2-0 win for is that for Everton? All right,
yeah,
yeah. Look,
true.
it's all good. I hear it. I'm not in huge sort of a confident mood right now, but I just feel like maybe we'll just nick it. We'll just nick it somehow, some way. But that's just probably me being wishful thinking right now. But
Somehow,
hey,
some
we'll have
way.
to wait and see in terms of what occurs this Sunday. So that is the end of our match preview. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to switch it up and we're going to talk wrestling. So got the artwork ready. We're going to do our WrestleMania segment. Double D's already got his one up right now in respect to Roman Reigns. So we'll go in terms of the order of the night. So we'll go with night one, and then we will do the predictions. So we can start. Where do you want to start from? Do you want to start from the main event, or do you want to start from the match
You could
that
just
will kick off?
you could do it in the order that is there. It's up to you. You know?
So let's talk about the main event because I'm not gonna lie, Double D. I've
Mm.
been very disappointed with the build up to WrestleMania,
What is
especially
this Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee? The
yeah,
Pat McAfee
like
thing is one of the worst things I've ever seen, and
oh
I've
my
watched
god,
wrestling since what 1990. It's one of the worst things I've
yeah,
ever seen.
like honestly, because me and you have been watching wrestling for a long time. I always have that little hope that oh, this might be the time where The Rock makes a surprise appearance. And with Randy Orton being on the phone, I thought maybe he's on the phone to The Rock because he's mentioned that oh, there's another family or wrestling family in the wrestling business, and they went completely left, and they brought Pat McAfee into the storyline. And there's also rumors suggesting that that actually wasn't a creative decision. That was something
TKO.
provided by TKO. They wanted him involved in some capacity. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like before that, the build-up was actually going quite well. I feel like, we were feeling the excitement of these matches, but that for me completely derailed the lead up to WrestleMania. I feel like it's killed all the excitement, if I'm being brutally honest
Yeah.
with you. Uh, there was no reason to add him whatsoever. It made no
But
logical sense. I think it's probably the
but you
worst
but
storylines
you
ever.
see But you see why though, bro, even though it makes no sense, because I thought with Randy week by week being on the phone to someone that his dad was going to come back or something like that, because
Yeah,
Randy's been putting out cryptic tweets in the last month to 5 weeks, like saying things like, oh, there's more than one wrestling royal family, etc. But obviously, remember what they're doing this year because of this partnership with ESPN Plus, right?
yeah,
The first hour of both days is going to be live on the normal ESPN.
yeah,
Then if you
correct.
pay for it, so they're
Yeah,
trying to lure people in. Pat McAfee's show comes on ESPN as well as YouTube.
yeah,
So therefore, you get me. So therefore, that's an easy way to lure non-wrestling fans in. And also as well, because ticket prices are so high by TKO.
yeah,
Um, all the wrestlers have been doing a bag of promo work more than usual. Even
yeah,
this morning, um, because I watched yesterday now because it's after midnight.
yeah,
Jay Uso came on it is podcast with
yeah,
Mason Cameron, and it's hilarious. And he beats up Cameron.
yeah. I love it.
Jade Cargill has come on Funny Marco's podcast. She's
Yeah, I saw
come
that.
on she's come on the Joe Budden podcast, and apparently
Yeah.
she was on, I don't know if it's First Take or whatever, but she was on ESPN too. Rhea
Okay.
Ripley came on Laura Ebro and Rosenberg's podcast last
Oh,
week.
did she?
Um,
Okay.
like they've done so much work. It's obviously to try and get another audience in because the tickets haven't sold well because they won't lower
But
the
that's on
prices.
that's
But
on them. That's on them. You can't price out the fans when it comes to these type of events. The
and this
prices
is
are absolutely
and
ridiculous.
it and it's come out that Vince McMahon um used to was really he had families in mind and he made the pricing much more reasonable so
Yeah,
whole families could come as a package. So when you
yeah,
get people calling for Vince to come back with all these documentaries and all
yeah.
these other evidence that come out in the last few years, that's when you know things are going badly at the moment
Yeah.
in terms of selling. You know what I'm saying? Selling the tickets. So yeah.
Do you know what? Shout out to my cousin. He sent me something earlier on this week. They're
Mm.
still selling tickets, not sold out, and apparently you could buy tickets for like $100
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's
because they're
ridiculous.
struggling right now. And like for me, that should be a sign for these guys where it's like, look, we're going to struggle. Like this is WrestleMania. This is supposed to be the Super Bowl event of wrestling, but you've really shot yourself in the foot. And look, I don't mind seeing celebrities here and there, but in terms of Pat McAfee, I get he's got his own podcast on ESPN. But he
Yeah,
could have just been a commentator. He could have just been like that. Could have been announced that he's going to do night one, and like I think that would have built excitement anyway. But I don't think he needed to be part of the main storyline of
no,
one of the big matches in the whole weekend of WrestleMania. I feel like
no,
they've and also it's the build up to it as well, where we're thinking, oh, who's it going to be? Even there was talks of Teddy DiBiase Jr. being because obviously they were part of a group all those years ago. Maybe he'll come back briefly, like that would have excited the fans, but it made logical sense in terms of story. Pat
yeah.
McAfee makes no sense for me at all. So yeah, the excitement has definitely been flattened by Pat McAfee's inclusion. To be honest with you, now in terms of predictions, let's talk predictions. Who do you think wins the main event between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton?
Also, as well, before I forget, there's been rumors
Yeah,
out today, but I'll send you something that
yeah, yeah.
Randy Orton has an injury. I don't know if you saw anything about that, but
Oh no, I haven't.
that broke in the afternoon, so that would have been the morning over there. That apparently Randy Orton's alerted them that he's feeling some. I think they were saying stiffness or pain or whatever it is.
Okay.
Um, so that would be a bit mad. That could be karma to WWE Creative for taking the belt off of Drew McIntyre. You know, Drew's
Yeah,
my guy all
yeah,
day
yeah.
long. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
one of my favorite modern day guys. But I think. Randy wins. I thought if he is fit enough to be in it, but I don't think they'd pull him last minute. They probably just work. Cody's a good worker to have a match where Cody is in the ascendancy, regardless of the result. So Randy's not doing the heavy lifting in the match if it is a case
Yeah,
where he's in pain, because we know we had him out for a long time um, through injury. So yeah,
yeah,
I would think they did that because they would feel that Cody Randy. This is the problem as well with including Pat McAfee. These two, because Cody looked up to him, their story told itself anyway. And I thought that was the
yeah,
whole reason why they were doing it. But obviously, if they've inserted Pat now. So I think also
yeah.
as well what Stephanie said to Randy about how a few weeks ago, and well, sorry, not Randy, to Cody a couple of weeks ago on
Cody
Raw,
Rose, yeah.
when she said this version of Cody Rhodes can't beat Randy Orton. You
Mm,
get me? So unless they turn maybe Cody Hill or something like that, I'm gonna go
yeah,
with Randy to win it. But they'll probably have Cody win it back before the end of the year anyway.
yeah. We're probably winning back soon. Do you think there'll be any sort of surprise appearances in that match, or you think it's just going to be a straightforward win for Randy Orton?
I'd like Randy's dad to come out, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. Cowboy
Mm.
Bob Orton, you get me? So yeah,
Do
I'd
you
go
think the
for that.
host of WrestleMania might be involved? There's rumors circling that
I
he could play a
That's a
part.
possibility, but because he's retired, I think that would be cheating the fans if he was to like
Yeah.
kick Cody or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Also,
Um,
bringing him back for me, it just shows how much they were struggling to bring. And look, I don't have any issue. I like John Cena, but he had a whole year to do that. Like to bring him back so soon as well, it's desperation from
yeah,
WWE
yeah,
to do
yeah,
that.
exactly. He's just gone. You said bye to him. Now he's going to come back with the big intro and whatnot as well, because there's only 7 matches on the card. And you know this is going to be at least 4 hours, so we are going to
Yeah,
be absolutely flooded with advertisement, man.
yeah. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to that. The only plus point from our point of view is that I think the event starts at 11 p.m. for us UK time, so it's a
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
earlier
yeah, no,
than
yeah.
planned, which is good. But it would, like I said, probably be about 3-4 hours long anyway. So still a
Yeah,
long night for us.
I
So
think at least 4 hours.
yeah, definitely 3-4 hours.
It's crazy.
Definitely.
Do you
So
remember back in the day when they used to have manias with up to 13 to 15 matches and about 3 to 3.5 hours?
yeah, yeah,
You never had every match have like massive intros, so you should just be the main event. Now you're going to see
yeah.
some intros, you're going to see cosplaying, and you're going to see masks and etc. And then you might even have like live bands doing the music and whatnot. It's going to be an event.
Halftime
So
shows and all that sort of stuff.
yeah, I see. Yeah, someone singing maybe in the middle or whatever. Obviously, there'll be a national
Yeah,
anthem at the start, but for us in the UK, it absolutely cooks us. If they just finish the match and set up the ring for whatever is the next match, etc., we'd be okay.
mm,
But so much goes into it now, like you're probably going to end up, both of us will probably end up falling asleep for that. You get me? I don't know
trust
if you, only maybe if you do a watch along it and you have like comments or whatever to
me.
be able to
Do you know
survive. You
what?
get
I feel like for these kind of events, I might have to have like a power nap during the day to
yeah,
make sure
yeah,
I can
yeah, yeah.
soldier
When
through.
I
You
get
know what I mean?
When I get back from radio, I'm gonna keep. Otherwise, at this age now, there's no way that I can go through it without falling asleep. I tried to watch basketball yesterday. I fell asleep and woke up. It was in the fourth quarter. You get
Trust
me?
me.
So yeah, yeah. So yeah.
No,
But
there's been times I've been watching UFC and I've like fallen asleep and I've like missed the main event because I fell asleep. So it's just like, yeah, it's peak. I got to have my power nap. So, okay,
yeah,
so you've
yeah,
gone for Orton. I'm going for Orton as well. I think he will win his 15th title, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
In WWE. So that'll be a big, big moment there for him. Now, moving on, we can see the graphic there. Stephanie McCall versus Liv Morgan. Now, who are you going towards in terms of the win? Who do you think will be victorious? The build-up's been a bit nuts. Like, I saw the segment where she pushed.
They hate each other. They hate each other,
They
bro.
do it.
Like she pushed Liv into Roxanne, and Liv had the
Oh,
biggest
that sound,
comeback
yeah, that sound was mad. Those calls just honestly, that I watched it back the other day and I was just like, yeah, that must have hurt, honestly. And she had a big, both of them had lumps on their heads.
Yeah,
She's got black
yeah,
eyes here and there as well. Like,
yeah.
she's a mash up.
And her song is trash, by the way. She's just released a tune,
Oh, I
Trouble.
saw
I think
that.
it's called
Yeah, it's
Trouble.
trash. Yeah, that's
trash.
trash.
But if you watch it on mute, it's okay though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Anyway, we won't get into that right now. You're a married man. I don't want to get you in trouble. Right. But do you know what? I
I'll
think
let you do the talking.
I think because of the build. I think because of the build up. I
Yeah.
think Liv's gonna win. I think
Okay.
They rushed Stephanie getting the title because of Naomi's pregnancy. And they've not really know what to do with her because she's barely been on TV. They had that storyline where she got injured, was it by Raquel? And she had the walking
Yeah.
boot. But then when you saw her the following week, she didn't have the walking boot on anymore. And I thought, Jesus Christ, let's make it believable. We all know it's a work, but at least try and make it believable.
Yeah.
So I think the way it's gone, and it would seem Stephanie kind of dominated it. The good head to head on Monday, a good clash where Kathy
Yeah.
Kelly got knocked over. I think Liv long separated though she had the injury from Liv winning the title and then obviously having the title for a bit and then winning Crown Jewel in Saudi and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm not like thrilled about I'm not optimistic about another Liv title run, but
Okay.
that might just be me. I think because the way the division is, I think some of the women are really underutilized, and it's annoying because the women have come
Yeah.
so far from diva days that we actually look to events now and we're more
Mm.
excited about some of the women's matches than the men's to a point where that
Yeah.
evolution they have when they just have women's events. I think they need to do one sooner rather than later because the women
Yeah.
don't get enough time on any of the shows, but it's what it is.
That's the thing with the women. I feel like in the last few years, the female wrestlers are probably the better wrestlers
Yeah,
altogether
I'd
in
say
the
since the
business.
pandemic, I'd say since the
Yeah,
pandemic they've carried the thing, they've carried it. But yeah,
they have.
that's
They
just my
really have.
opinion. Yeah.
That's why I think that even the Evolution pay-per-view last year was really good. I was really impressed with the type of wrestlers there. It was a great show, good matches, really good matches there. So that's something I think they need to continue to do so. But
Yeah.
in terms of this, sorry, go on.
No, I wasn't even saying that. I
Oh yeah.
just yawned. Yeah, so yeah,
Oh sorry. I was gonna say in terms of this match, it's kind of like last WrestleMania as well when you had Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, and I feel like their build up was kind of like a bit raw, and it wasn't. They didn't follow the script basically. They said a few
Tiff,
comments to
Tiff,
each other that were a
Tiffany,
bit under the
Tiff,
belt.
Tiffany did an Arne Slot, bro. You get me? You get me? Tiffany did an Arne Slot, bro. She took it there, bro. You get me?
Under the bus straight away. So, and even in the match, like when I remember watching the match, it wasn't a smooth match. You can just tell that it was just full of aggression. They just wanted to beat the hell out of each other. So we might get that kind of element between these two as well. So it'll be interesting to see, what the outcome will be. But in terms of who wins this match, I'm going to go with Liv Morgan as well. I think she
Yeah,
will be victorious. But I do expect Stephanie McCall to be part of the big picture in terms of trying to get a rematch in Backlash, possibly being
yeah.
involved, or maybe a storyline where
Dominic,
Raquel is
Dominic will get
involved.
Dominic. Yeah, Dominic will get involved. Yeah, Raquel. Yeah, Raquel will probably end up leaving. I'd like her. I think
Yeah.
she's underutilized. I think she's been really good
Yes.
recently. Since Kevin Nash said that she should work bigger, I think she's done
Yeah.
that, and she'll probably end up leaving the Judgment Day, and will probably be the one. Hopefully, if the
Challenge for the title.
creative need me and Aussie, just follow us,
Come
innit? You
on.
get me? You
Come
know what I'm
on.
saying?
We've got too many
And
ideas. Even I said last year, Jey Uso to win the Rumble when it happened. You know what I mean?
you said
They
it,
must have
bro.
watched the show because no one else predicted it.
I know you're not a betting man, but you should have backed
I
that.
know I
But
should
you
have
know,
done it,
so yeah,
honestly.
I,
I should have done it
I
under a
think
different alias or something.
then,
Just got the rewards from it.
um, yeah, Liv winning it. I want Stephanie to win, but I think Liv will win
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
I've liked what Stephanie's done. I think she's definitely added something to that women's division, especially on Raw. I think
yeah,
she's held the title very well, to be fair. And I feel like
yeah,
there's other females that are coming through, especially from like NXT, that are so close to like having an impact. Like so Ruka, someone I really like. I
yeah.
think
So
she's gonna
Ruka's
be
really good. Yeah,
the
yeah,
next
yeah.
one. There's one that I really like. I think she's gonna be there in the future. I don't know if you know. You probably know. Her name's Callie Armstrong. So
Yes,
she's
she
someone
was
that
in
just made the
Evolve.
debut from
Yeah,
Evolve to NXT.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
someone I've been like, what I've seen her a couple times on Evolve, and I'm like, yeah, she's the one that's gonna break through. So,
yeah,
so you heard
yeah,
it first on the channel. She's the one that's gonna be like a big star for me in like a
yeah,
year or two. I think she's definitely got everything in the locker to do that. So,
yeah,
but in terms of this match, I'm going for Liv Morgan. I see a few comments here. Let's read them out. Some I didn't know that
yeah,
we
yeah,
had wrestling fans in the chat, so that's quite cool. Uh,
yeah.
let's start with H. H said Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes is in the new Street Fighter film. Have you seen the trailer
Yep,
of the Street
yep,
Fighter?
yep. No,
It looks
someone
good.
sent it to a WhatsApp group. I remember I didn't watch it.
Yeah, yeah. They released the full trailer today, so it's like a 3 minute clip. Really good, man. I've seen the ones before in the last few months, but now you see the more of the story of it. It looks
Yeah,
good, man. I'm looking forward to it. Should be good.
yeah.
Musa says Randy's Hilton was the best thing going into this match. I was so excited. Then they brought Pat McAfee.
Pat
That's the
McAfee,
thing. It was
exactly.
working well. It was working, and then it just fell to pieces. It really did.
And they
Honestly,
messed it up. Yeah,
TLC. And this whole culture of bringing bare celebrities. Look, I get it from a business standpoint. I get it to bring certain people because you attract certain audiences. But I think
yeah,
they've overloaded it this year. Like it wasn't necessary. I feel like there's a lot of fighters or wrestlers, I should say, that are competing for the first time in WrestleMania.
yeah,
So the spotlight should be on them, not all of these celebs. Like Jelly Roll, I don't know if it was 2, 3 weeks ago. The whole SmackDown was about Jelly Roll. In
yeah. I
every
know, I know.
segment, he was there.
It was Jelly Roll featuring WWE superstars. You get me?
Exactly. So it's like, what kind of collab? Like every segment, he was there. Like
Every
it's just
second
like,
he was there. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
give
yeah.
it a rest, man. So yeah, the build up hasn't been great. It really
Oh,
hasn't.
you're meant to be proper amped for WrestleManias, but to be honest, last year's as well, there were maybe a couple more matches you wanted to see, but I think SummerSlam, it was last year's one, wasn't it? When EO, the Dom switch, and or was it the year before? I'm trying to think. I think it was last year's SummerSlam. Was last year's
It was
SummerSlam
the
with the triple threat? Was that the triple threat with Rhea, Bianca, and Io?
that was
Was
SummerSlam, I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I'm saying,
Yeah,
was it SummerSlam last year? Because
I think so. Yeah, it was last
if
year.
it
Yeah,
was in the Triple H era, that's been the best main event they've done. And
yeah.
basically, that SummerSlam is what you're expecting at Mania. But Mania was,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, it's like, come on, man.
And Io Sky doesn't even have a match. He's not even in WrestleMania.
This got Carmelo Hayes doesn't have a match. Like the wrestlers that aren't on these cards are crazy. So they're gonna try and squeeze
So
them into
what's happened with Hayes? Is he injured or
Who
what's
Hayes?
the
No, no, no,
situation
no,
with
no.
him?
People thought he was going to go on a honeymoon because they were saying that
He's
him
getting married,
and
isn't he?
got has got married to Kalani Jordan. But
Yeah.
so I thought that's when they took the belt off of him because honeymoon or whatever. But they're saying some are even saying those pictures were from their engagement, but it seemed a bit excessive for an engagement. But I don't
Uh,
understand
I think
taking
they
the belt
messed
off.
up.
Then he
Yeah, they
gets a
messed up.
match. Then he gets a match against Sammy and then doesn't win it because with Carmelo and Trick, there's a story there. If you watch
Yeah,
NXT, you get what I'm saying?
correct.
Because obviously they were rolling together, brilliant on the mic, did great promos, and then Mello did the attack on Trick that they compared to Shawn Michaels switching on Martin
Yeah, yeah.
Jannetty. He even wore the same leather jacket and everything there as Shawn Michaels did when he switched on Martin Jannetty in Brutus the Barber Beefcake's barbershop. And
Mhm.
I thought they'd revisit it, but because they put them on the same brand, both on SmackDown, but it looks like they're maybe not going to do that.
Should have
But
been a
it's there
triple
for
threat.
them to do.
Should have been a
You get what I'm
triple
saying?
threat between the three. I think that would have made the most sense to just do
Yeah.
that.
Well, maybe we've got one more SmackDown before it, so we'll see. But the way creative are
Yeah.
moving at the moment, I think they'll let us
Nah.
down. You get?
Yeah, I don't think nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um, when they're bringing it out. So that's in regards to Street Fighter. Street, I think, is coming out in October. Yeah, October confirmed there by
FIFA
H.
2026.
Um, that is saying Cena's hosting. Yep, Cena is hosting. Uh, Wayne to Musa, do you think they're gonna push Randy to equal Cena's record? Potentially, potentially.
Yeah.
Daz says double D WWE channel on YouTube had 2 matches. Ozzy should get
That was
Jamie. Oh yeah, so Jamie I know is into wrestling as well. So yeah, This is just like a
Isn't it?
one-off that me and Double D do, but I'm sure if we were to make it a regular thing, I'll try and get Double D. Sorry, I'll get Double D. I'll try and get Jamie. I also know Fozzy likes wrestling as well, so I could get Fozzy on as well. But this is just
Okay.
like a spontaneous thing that me and Double D have just done. We've done
Yeah.
it. I think we did. We always did Royal Rumble and Wrestlemania, isn't it? I think that's when we just start doing these
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
segments,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
So
I'm
maybe we'll
literally
make it
sure.
into a regular thing at some point.
Yeah.
What else do we have here? Wayne says he thinks Orton will win. Dad says Cody to win and he turns heel. I think everyone's waiting for that heel turn. I don't think it'll come now. I think it'll come at some point. I just don't think it'll come right now.
Yeah, because
But you never know.
he's getting booze. People are sick of Cody the politician, bruv. You get what I'm saying? So he's getting some
Yeah.
booze, but I don't think they'll do it just yet. You get what
No,
I'm
it's
saying?
too soon. It's too soon. I agree. Um, Musa says he reckons Orton's going to win, but he's not going to get 17, which is fair. Do you think Triple H will get involved to stop him going ahead in titles? Yeah, if Triple H does that, then that's a bit of an issue, isn't it?
You see what Triple
Um,
H is doing. You see what Triple H is doing though with his involvement in the Brock Olber build up because remember
yeah,
people on social media because of the booking that creative do have been saying for time and obviously it goes a little back to when he was a wrestler as well some of the things he said they're convinced that Triple H is a racismo on social media and
yeah,
when the rumors when not sorry the talk rather on the socials and obviously him Shawn Michaels and that they look at social media was going through the roof the next time on NXT because if you notice at the NXT for the last best part of a year now. Triple H's name comes
yeah,
up at the end. It didn't used to be before. Just used to be Shawn Michaels and Lee Fittins, I think, is the other name. But now Triple H's name's on there. So when the talk on social media was going through the roof about his booking, he doesn't like black people. They had that one when they had all the black champions. So Jay was just after Mania. So Jay was champion, even though they booked the Samoans like black people, even though they're not.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jay was champion. Trick was champion. I can't remember whether he was the TNA or NXT champion at the state at
I
a
think he was
stage, and
TNA champion. I think it's
they had
TNA.
they had all the managers on there. It might have even have been just before he got the TNA
Yeah,
belt
yeah,
next to his after Mania. I don't think he got the TNA belt today. Once I'm sure he was NXT champion at the time, and they had all
mm,
the black people that had gold. They had them there in the ring, and I thought this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous,
yeah.
bro.
And
This
even the
is
start of this year, he's brought on Obafemi and he's brought on Javon Davis. So he's brought the two black stars from NXT
yeah,
as soon
yeah,
as
yeah.
possible, basically as well, isn't it? So yeah,
We
can't hide
brought
from
them over.
those suggestions, I
We brought
guess.
them over from yeah, but I mean, Orton does his best work as a heel. Yeah, definitely, he
Facts,
definitely
he
does.
does. That's Ozzy. Fozzy is doing it in terms of is he doing a watch along? That'd be interesting if he's doing a watch along. That'd be cool. Um, if they continue the storyline, then Cody's going to win it. But I reckon Randy's going to keep the title for like a year, maybe as he'll. I don't think he'll keep the title for a year.
Yeah, he'll
I
be
think
6 months, 6 months at best. These men are
yeah,
too eager
I
to
see Drew
go.
McIntyre getting into the picture. I expect Jacob Fatu to win the title at some point as well.
Hopefully,
Um, yeah, so I do expect that. I don't expect it to be Randy for a year. I don't think that'll happen. Races to Aussie with Flair a face now. Do you think they'll bring the Four Horsemen back? You never know. Yeah, I don't
oh,
know if
they need Sasha for that. So
Sasha isn't there, and I
Mercedes,
don't know if she'll
Mercedes,
come back. To be fair,
Mercedes Moné doesn't look like she's coming back any soon.
yeah,
And
Mercedes Monday.
Becky turning heel would not. Sorry, turning face rather. Becky turning
Yeah.
face doesn't seem like it's on the cards.
No,
Uh, but then again, you never know because obviously she's been doing a lot of work with Seth, obviously being her husband, and Seth
yeah,
through this battle with Gunther is going to be leaning back into more being a face. Even Seth is best as a tweener anyway, but
yeah.
leaning back into being a face. So you never, yeah. So you actually never know. But I don't think Mercedes Monet's contract with AEW is or any work she's
It's a
doing with
long
them
term
will
contract, isn't it? I
New
think
Japan
so.
or whatever. So.
Yeah, but she's allowed to. She's allowed to find other organizations. That's why she had so many belts, isn't it? So
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not
yeah.
exclusive to just AEW. But yeah, really interested to see if would come back to WWE. I don't think it's on the cards, to be honest with you. Um, let's see, we've got quite a few comments here. I see Musa and Wayne having chit chat amongst themselves. Bo, big up Bo. He says FFS. Only saw this now. Big up Bo. Hope you're doing well. When you say
Big
only
up,
just started,
bro.
we've done nearly 2.5 hours, but yeah, we're still here. We're doing wrestling now, so if you want to catch up on the football, you might have to rewind back a little bit. But yeah, we're doing a wrestling segment right now. Uh, okay, good one, big up. They need to do something different with Flair because she's getting stale now. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see at some point, her,
Her and Alexa,
betraying this or
something will
something
happen.
like that.
Though they're very funny together, especially when you watch them come into the ring together. They always do something like they'll hit one will hit the other one or try to trip the other one up or something like that. They're actually quite funny. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
obviously not
think I won't be surprised. Like if I was to make a bold prediction, which is something I like to do, um, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Charlotte Flair against Jade Cargill in like SummerSlam because I feel like that's a rivalry that is going to happen at some point. They're actually good friends behind the scenes as well. Um,
even yeah, because Charlotte just had her 40th and they were together at that day. But even I was saying earlier about the ticket sales and the fact that Jade came
yeah,
on the Joe Budden podcast. Jade is saying it on there. She said that the way they were building it up because you'd have, especially when Jade first come, you'd have her walk past Charlotte when Charlotte's had a match.
yeah,
And then they
yeah,
just look at each other and whatnot. And even Jade said that she thought that they were going to go in the Jade Charlotte direction, but
yeah.
they've switched it up and now
But
it's
they had to fit Rhea
Rhea
Ripley in
Ripley.
there because she's the biggest star right now, so they had to fit Rhea
She's
Ripley
so
in.
over, yeah, because she's so over. You get me? So yeah.
Yeah, so
What I
it's
did
just
like, what I didn't like was that just before Elimination Chamber, Rhea got pinned on the SmackDown before Elimination Chamber when her and Io lost the tag belts. So then, even though I thought Rhea was going to win the Elimination Chamber anyway, that made it bait because Rhea hardly gets pinned. She hardly gets pinned, which I don't like because she's so over. It wouldn't affect her
mm,
character or whatever anyway. If anything, that will bring her more fans because of the fact they see her get beat. Because otherwise, it gets kind of repetitive. Like when they was in Australia, she had the street fight
yeah,
with Raquel, didn't she? There was no need for her to beat Raquel in that. You could
yeah,
easily give Raquel the victory, even though it's in Rhea's home country. That like she's still going to get
yeah.
a massive cheer from the crowd. So, but yeah, it's what it is, man.
No, I hear it. Oh, we got a football comment here from Boris. The slot was seen giving. Oh my god, I am not reading that out loud. Bo, you're going wild on that one. Trying to catch me out there.
Pause.
I gotta read it before.
Time out.
Time out, Bo. Time.
Hell no. Hell
Bloody
no.
hell. I've just said, do not at WWE's. Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah, I did promise you guys we were going to do WWE. So if if you're not interested, then it's all good. But yeah, I did promise you guys. 2 hours left. I don't know if me and Double D will be doing it for another 2 hours, but hey, you never know.
More like 20 minutes left, but yeah.
Why not? Just depending on how long we keep talking wrestling, you got to do that. Never watched the wrestling match in my life. Uh, remember a stream where it was calling and this one guy was building a house when oh, who was that? Was that
Oh yes, I remember there was bare noise in the background. There was
yeah,
someone rang in to make a football comment. There was bare noise in the background, bruv. It's underneath and they were making a house or they were doing uh they were severing
yeah,
bodies in the background or something like that. Rupert.
yeah, I remember that. I was trying to remember who to call. I can't remember who it was now, but if it's Chibuke, it might have been Chibuke, I think it might have been him, but I can't remember now. That's funny. Uh Wednesday, good job. I'm old enough to have seen the first WrestleMania. Wow.
Oh, scene.
First WrestleMania was in the late 80s, wasn't it?
The
Yeah.
first WrestleMania I saw was six, which was 1990 Ultimate Warrior and Hulk
Oh.
Hogan.
I think that might have
But
been the first one I watched as well, actually.
yeah,
I don't think I watched it live, but that was the one that's the earliest memory I have of WrestleMania. I think it
yeah.
was that one, to be
I
fair.
never watched it live either. Back in the days, if I behaved myself, um, you get me, 6 years old. If I behave myself, then when the video came out a few weeks later, Woolworths
On it.
14.99. Parents would get it for
Yeah.
me. You get me? One
Oh
of
yeah,
them
I
ones that
remember them videos,
if I if I behaved,
I
they
remember
probably
one
still in my
time
shed.
I remember one time I was in Sainsbury's and then they were selling those wrestling cassettes and I put like one or two cassettes in my mom's basket thinking, oh, she was just gonna buy it, yeah. Of course she didn't buy it. She put that shit to one side, like 30 quid for like two wrestling tapes. And I was just like, look at me trying to be sly, yeah. My mom was not having it at all. But I try and sneak it in there, but yeah, it did not work, unfortunately.
Oh,
What I
that is
thought my mom
hilarious.
thinking it's groceries, yeah, she's just gonna buy it, yeah. Flip it up. I was a bit of a joker then. Uh,
That's hilarious.
and Ozzy was trying to hold his laugh. Do you know what? When you guys were commenting when that was happening, I couldn't hear it because obviously I'm not wearing headphones, so I can't hear everything in terms of detail. But when I watched it back, I could kind of hear it, so yeah, it's kind of funny. Um, and the Hogan flipping the giant, yeah, that was
Yeah, yeah.
a huge moment in wrestling. That was, wasn't it? So um, that's because Ozzy is ageist. I'm not ageist. I'm just very polite. Um, But has ever been in a wrestling match, Ozzy? Not physically. You know what? I
Oh,
was speaking to my sister about this the other day. Yeah, if there was like wrestling schools when I was growing up, I'm not joking. I probably would have gone. You know, I would have just tried to think. You know what? I might be the Asian HBK or something. I don't know, bro. You know, just just try it out. I would have loved to have done it. You know.
the street said secretly you're Samoan, bruv.
I'm part of the family tree. Do you know what I mean? So
That's all I'm saying. They said
that's
Aussie's
why.
not from They said Aussie's not from
Trust me.
Pakistan. He's from East Samoan. That's what the
I'm
streets are saying.
Samoan.
I mean, I'm
Can you
just,
imagine? So you never know. I might
don't,
make a secret cameo. You know, I might next time Cameron has an interview, I might slap him in the back of his head. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Aussie East, Aussie the East, you know.
Oh, trust me. Boss said,
Oh,
did you see Slot in London today? I was like, nah. How do you know he's in London? Bloody hell, I don't even know these things.
what was
Bo,
he?
you got something to tell us? Are you his secret agent or what's going on there? So
Was he?
no,
Was
I
he
did not even know
taking?
he was in London.
Was he taking another holiday?
Yeah, was seen at a restaurant, you know, with his match going close. Yeah, boy, living the life he is, living the life. But okay, let's move on. And oh, Wayne says that he's done multi ring training. That's pretty cool. Um, did you do any sort of like combat sports when you're growing up, Double D? I did
No, not even, not even.
I did a karate class. I kid you not. After one class, I think I quit. I'm like, I'm not doing. I'm just standing here doing these moves. Like, I'm not actually hitting anything. I was not impressed. So, but I do kind of wish that I did do a combat sport because my son does kickboxing. So, like watching them
Okay,
thinking, oh, maybe I would have loved to have done that when I was his age. So, but yeah, for me, I think when I was like 10, I was like more into football in it. So for me, playing football, literally anywhere on the street. You know, back in our day, you know, you play football on the street. You don't need to go to a park to play football. On the street, anywhere there's a bit of space, you know, we're kicking balls. So that was my thing.
always, always,
Growing up,
always.
always, man. So yeah, good days, good days. Let's move on and talk about this match, which kind of randomly just happened. In Seth Rollins and Gunther. I think that was more so because the original plan would have been Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker, but of course Bron Breakker has
Yeah,
suffered a long-term
injury.
injury, hasn't he? So that's why they
I,
had to
I,
fit Gunther in there as well.
I just hope they've not. Seth isn't coming back too quickly after his injury. Um, the
Yeah.
joke is that these lot weren't given much to work with, but have still
No.
had a better build-up than Randy and Cody being spoilt with the inclusion
Pat
of
McAfee, yeah.
Pat McAfee because of it's only because of Monday because I thought it was a bit random. Where's the link between Gunter and Paul
Yeah.
Heyman? But Monday's promo, Raw promo, was very good. When Gunter said Seth struts around and talks about being the best in the business, but you're not better than me. And then they had that brawl, and you could actually feel it. So we needed
Mm,
maybe another week of build up here, but that was good. I honestly don't. This is one of the couple of matches. I actually don't know who's going to win this because you would think that um, Gunter would win, but Gunter is basically doing a reborn Randy Orton thing in terms of being a legend killer, but they're calling him the
Yeah.
career killer. Seth has at least 5 or 6 more years at the top to do. You get what I'm saying? As long as he
Yeah.
doesn't get injured. So I think that something happens here and we don't get like a proper winner in this one or something like that. But if I had to go with
Mhm.
someone winning, I'd go with Seth only because of the fact that as great as Seth Rollins is, he doesn't have the best WrestleMania record. Much like Triple
Okay.
H didn't used to have the best WrestleMania record.
Same with
So
Shawn Michaels as well. He didn't have the best record either
yeah,
at WrestleMania.
he did he? So
No.
I'd go with
Even though he called himself Mr. WrestleMania, but he didn't have the best record.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So
So you're going with Seth
I'd go
Rollins.
with
Okay.
Seth, but I'm thinking how would then again thinking about it though, how would Seth be able to beat Gunter and not and Gunter isn't not a buried, but uh, uh, would there need
It's
to
a
be
bizarre
interfering?
matchup as well because I'm thinking like who benefits from winning here? As in, what is the next
Yeah, no
storyline
one really
after? Does that
benefits
make
from winning,
sense?
but this is a very old school WrestleMania match. I think it's just because
Yeah.
they didn't want to leave them off of the card because Gunter has not appeared too much since he choked Dragon Lee a couple of months ago, which was wild the way they did it. It was like they
Or
were
is that
having
when
him
he held
pinned.
him on the ropes?
Yeah, when he held him on the ropes, it was like he was dead. And the way Dragon Lee's body just flopped, I thought this is more like Attitude Era or Ruthless
Yeah.
Aggression
Yeah,
style
yeah,
of
yeah.
a segment. But so yeah, I don't understand what it would do for the person winning, which is why I think if they are going to hand Gunter a rare loss, it could be here. But I really don't know. I really, really, really don't know. Unless someone costs Seth, because obviously Heyman, they're flirting with him being under Heyman's wing or whatever. So unless someone
Mm.
come and cost Seth, we'll see.
Do you know the severity of Bron Breaker's injury? Like, is he completely ruled
I,
out or
I,
is he
I think he had
close?
I think he had some form of surgery, but the fact you've even mentioned his name, it might be a case where he comes and does something
Yeah.
that not in terms of a match, but if it's a spear on Seth or
Interference.
whatever, yeah, for Gunter to win. And then obviously then that continues on that story there for when
Mm.
Braun is ready, whether or not it's a backlash thing or a money in the bank thing, you get what I'm saying? That obviously then they can have this delayed match. But yeah, this match confuses me because, as you said, I don't know what it does for anyone. Back in the day, these are the type of matches because you never weren't having the long intros and whatnot. Like for instance,
Yeah.
the first thing that comes to my head is WrestleMania 8. Um,
Hmm.
when flipping the first match was El Matador v Shawn Michaels. You get me?
Yeah.
So you'd have big wrestlers in the matches, whereas now, if it's not for the title, they'd rather fill it up with bloody adverts. You get me? You used to get 30 to
Yeah.
50 matches on them old WrestleManias. Now
Yeah.
flipping, we're getting 7 in one day and 6 the next day. So we're just going to be
Mm.
sitting there watching advertisements and other nonsense and long package videos and vignettes and that. You get me? So
What's
is
that
what it
brand that they keep promoting? That it's the one that's on the table that they printed. What's it called? That one? It's red and it's like red and yellow.
Oh, the Slim Jims thing.
Slim Jims. Yeah, you're gonna see
Yeah,
that plastered
yeah,
everywhere, isn't it? So
they're always going to do a Slim Jim adverts, and they'll do a cricket advert, and they're going to promote the fact of obviously the first hour is free.
that vodka, the one that Cody Rhodes does.
Oh yes, yes. Oh, what's Cody's vodka called again? Ah, it all come
So
to
that's
me, but
when
yeah,
like
definitely.
there's like those workers and they're doing like wrestling moves, like
Yeah,
someone's
yeah,
kicking a post boxing, all sorts of stuff like that. So you know we watch too many of these ads when they
yeah,
keep showing the
yeah.
same thing again and again.
There'll be an advert for cricket. There'll be an advert for M&Ms. What's it? Because obviously,
I think like an accounts one as well. Am I just like accounting or something like that? Finances or something crazy like that.
yep, yep, and
Credit
yeah,
cards or something along those lines.
yeah,
Yeah.
credit, yeah, definitely credit card one, and
Yeah.
obviously because obviously the first time was free on ESPN. They'll do one advertising the fact of you need to pay to watch it further with ESPN Plus, which is why on Sunday Brock and Obafemi are going to be the first match because then it's going to be a madness, and then that will people will think, you know what, why not? Let me try and watch the rest of the thing, and that
Yeah,
will get them the money that they desire. So we're lucky
yeah.
to have Netflix here in the UK to be able to watch all of it
Trust me.
uninterrupted. Yeah,
I'm grateful that it's on Netflix. I just feel like it's good to have it in one hub and you just watch all the old stuff, but you can watch the new stuff, and it's like easy access in terms of your phone or on the TV.
I
Uh,
think they should have kept the WWE network, but just had it
More
cheaper,
accessible, right? Yeah.
cheap, because the way it was organized on the WWE network was much more thorough
How
than
much
how
was
it is
it?
on Netflix. That was 10 a month though, so I think they should just reduce the price. That was 9.99.
Okay.
They should have just reduced the price of that and flipping and then gone forth because it was a bit scatty the way it got put onto Netflix and they've got it in seasons and whatnot. Bit by bit, it will
Yeah,
improve, obviously, in terms of how the
I get what you
library is
mean.
organized. But yeah,
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. But I'm still happy that it's on because for us before it was on BT Sports as well. And I feel like,
yeah,
with BT Sport, it was a bit, the coverage wasn't great and not easy accessible. I know you can still get the app on your phone, but I feel like
yeah,
Netflix is just, it's a bit of a different feel. You can download it and then all that sort of stuff. So
yeah. Because
it's a
but the
bit
thing is, as well, what I will say though about when it was on BT Sport and then obviously it went to TNT Sport, but
TNT,
obviously
yeah.
when Netflix come, yeah, they've had very good sideshows. Like they used to have a thing called the not the jump, the WWE one. They used to have one with a white guy and sometimes some Asian woman came on there. Very good
Okay.
coverage. There's one they did on Finn Balor. So BT's rest
Oh, okay.
and remember NXT UK, um, because
Ah,
something happened to when
yes.
they had it, they moved it to the BT studio in Stratford. Um, but
Did
then
they?
obviously,
Okay.
so yeah, so there, which was a good
That's
thing
not
as well.
televised anymore, is it? The NXT UK, or
Oh,
does that even exist?
they cancelled it a couple of years ago. They did this. They
Oh,
proper lied. They said they were going to bring NXT Europe, which we're still waiting for. So they had these unification matches with the NXT
okay.
titles against all the UK people, and obviously, as you'd expect, the UK people mainly lost, and the ones that
Yeah,
were kept on, your Tyler Bates, etc., they came to the main
back
roster.
to NXT. Okay.
Obviously, Pete Dunne was already there with the whole butch thing with
Oh
Sheamus
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and whatnot, is etc. And they had them come over. So we're still waiting a couple of years later for NXT Europe because they unified all the belts at
yeah.
that event. So basically, that was just like the closure for NXT UK, which I thought was a nasty movement. But yeah, so
Mm. It would have
because
been
that's
nice
what I
to
felt.
have a NXT UK though. I think it would have been quite cool to see, like especially talents in the UK. It would be quite, or even in Europe, I guess, as well. It would be nice to
Yeah,
see, those kind
yeah.
of stars, because you've got the star. Oh, what's his name? Ricky Sosa, the one on
Yes,
TNA right now. So
yes.
he's from
With the
Belgium,
blonde
isn't he?
guy. Yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah,
that would have been someone we might have seen in NXT UK, and you could have
yeah.
actually physically gone, like as in me and
Yeah.
you, we could have actually physically gone and watched it as well. So it would have been quite nice as well.
with,
But no, it's,
with their partnership, flipping, you'll probably see him on NXT sooner rather than later with their
yeah,
partnership with TNA and NXT. So yeah,
he
probably see
actually
him
did
on.
a show randomly a few weeks ago in Wolves, Ricky Sosa, and
Is
I
it?
think Mercedes Moné was there as well. She had a match there.
Oh, I would have gone just to
Yeah.
see her, man.
I didn't know it was Wolves. I'm like, well, such a, if it's London, it's like, why not in it? You know what I mean? But yeah, if I had told Double D would have been pasting it up there, you know what I mean? So
I'll be like, oh,
um,
someone there,
uh,
mate. I'm outside the
nah, do you know
venue,
what? Mercedes Moné, she's cool though. So because
mate.
she's had so many titles as well, so I think she's just trying to give it back to those organizations that she took it from, basically, isn't it? So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but she's doing her thing though. I've got a few comments here. So you've gone for Seth Rollins. I'm going for Gunpla, but I'm expecting an interference. I would love for it to be Bron Breakker because I feel like that would build such an excitement.
yeah.
But no, in Triple H, it might just be a masked man that comes and interferes, and then 6 months down the line, we'll find out it was Bron Breakker. But it actually wasn't Bron Breakker; it was just some random guy. That was. built like him or something like that. So
Oh,
maybe that's something that happens on this occasion. Let me
yeah.
see some of the comments here, and then we'll move on to the next match. Um, Wayne said, "Get your son into Muay Thai. It's the next level to kickboxing. He already know most of it. I'll definitely look into that because he's enjoying his classes right now. But definitely do want him to progress and excel. So yeah, definitely look into that. So that's good advice there. Bo says Slot versus Ozzy in a wrestling match. Listen, if that was to occur, I'm telling you now, I already know the stipulations of that match. That match will be an icon match, and he will have to quit and leave Liverpool if I win. Straight up, that would be the stipulation, and I will absolutely demolish that guy. You will see, you'll know how much of a wrestling fan I am when I'm doing crazy moves from wrestlers from like the 90s and stuff. I'm doing swanton bombs, frog splash, everything from the ladder on the tables. Yeah, I'm going all in. So if that was ever to occur, Bo, you said you never watched a wrestling match, you will definitely be watching that because then Slot will be out of the picture as well. That's the way I'm matching it in my head right now. Wayne says Bo, to at Bo, sorry, Ozzy and Slot are pals. They go IB for together. Yeah, that's my party buddy right there. Bo says, "Are Chiesa invited this time, Ozzy? No, he's not invited. He's never invited to our shindigs in Ibiza." Wayne says that, Bo, someone has to carry the bags, take the pictures. That is true. Maybe we'll get him on board next time. Um, Easy access to one tub. Nah, nah, nah. Never that. We don't roll like that at all. We don't share tubs. Uh, uh, I'm learning that Ozzy is shocking. He's ages and Chiesa's bloody hell. What a word right there. Bo's asked favorite comedian. Who's your favorite comedian, Double D?
Mine was Bernie Mac still. God rest,
Bernie Mac.
may he rest in peace. You get me?
Yeah, rest in peace. No, he's
Bernie
cold.
Mac.
He's cold. Especially like his old content as well. Like, yeah, he was good. For
Yeah,
me, it's Dave Chappelle. I grew up watching the Dave Chappelle show in
yeah.
college days, and like those
Chappelle's
like skits and
my
segments
top
he used to
three.
do, hilarious, hilarious.
Chappelle's
I still
is
watch some of them here and there, till this day, man. So he's like definitely my favorite. So yeah, Dave
yeah.
Chappelle, for me. Um, Ozan says 3 hour stream. We're almost touching that mark. We're still in night one, so yeah, we might end up touching that third hour. To shout out to Double D for sticking along.
No,
Wayne says Lee Evans. Lee Evans was quite cool. Lee Evans, I always find him interesting because
yeah,
he'd be sweating a lot during his performances,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
full on sweat, like he's like, and because I know like in terms of his history, like he used to be a boxer as well, so it's just that
I'm
worked
saying,
out that he would, yeah. So he used to be a boxer because when you do certain sports, because you do that physical workout, your body just responds in that way. So when he did
yeah,
comedy, I think it's down to like nerves and pressure, like it
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
add up.
yeah.
So he would like sweat a lot, but he was very, very funny. Billy Connolly, Al Murray, and Ken Dodd as well. Ozan says, went out, had some falafel,
Our
man,
was
are
funny.
still streaming. Can you imagine? I'm starving as well, but yeah, you got yourself a falafel. Hope it was nice. Bo says, Ozzy going crazy this time. Sometimes he's so in a rush, then that 5 seconds after the stream starts, he puts out. Let's go through some of the comments before we close the Look, with certain shows, if it's like a match reaction, I say what I have to say. I'll let you guys have your say in the chat. But of course, if there's not a lot of comments, there's only so much I can do. So that's why I have to close the shows a bit early. But when I get Double D on, it's always nice to catch up with him. And plus, me and him can talk for hours, as you can tell right now. And we're kind of rushing as well. Like if we were like proper chilling, this would be a 10-hour stream. That is what you've requested
I'm
for.
saying this is so.
So one day it might happen, but it's got to come to our, it's got to favor us as well. Maybe put some money involved. I don't know. Like, it's got to be worth our time as well. So
If
maybe one
Slot is
day.
still the manager going into August, then you might get a 12-hour stream for us. You'll only stop momentarily to get food.
Well,
We'll
I was
rotate.
gonna say if Xabi Alonso is appointed as the new manager, then me and Double D might do a celebration show, and that could be a 10-hour stream. So that should be more positive spirit. So let's see. Let's see what happens in the near future. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. Rest in peace, indeed. You're gonna hate me, Ozzy, but for me, it's Russell Peters. Russell Peters is funny. Um,
Russell Peters is funny still.
yeah,
He's
I,
funny.
I watched one of his recent ones as well. I watched a little bit. I haven't watched all of it. So he did a show. I want to say it was in either Saudi or Abu Dhabi, but he was making jokes where it was a bit like a bloody hell, like he's going a bit under the belt here.
Yeah.
And the crowd weren't responding to it as much. But I always found him funny. I think it was quite cool, to be fair. Um, not Theo Von. Theo Von. Who's
Theo
Theo
Von is
Von?
funny. He's funny still. I didn't know he did any stand up though. I've only seen him on these
Oh
podcasts.
yes, I do know Theo Von.
The
Yeah, I
white
didn't know
guy
he did.
with the
I've
country,
seen his skits and stuff, but I
with
don't
the
know he did
country.
stand-up
Yeah,
comedy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know him. He's quite funny as well. We need therapy streams next season because Slot will be around, according to FSG.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I was speaking to Double D earlier on. I'm like, I'm contemplating if I'm even going to do content next season. So if I'm here and I'm still around, then we might have to retitle the show, do therapy sessions or something like that.
Aussie's decided whether or not to do cover lacrosse or kabaddi or do cookery or something next
Trust
season.
me, it might be. I don't know. I might do a shisha channel where I tell you about all the different shisha flavors and God
Hey.
knows. I might just, I might be onto something. I might just end up doing that now. So yeah, I'll
Uh,
smoke on stream. I'll tell you what flavors I'm doing. Who knows?
have you been to
Uh,
Thing in Chelsea? Have you been to Yamal Ashland in Chelsea?
what's it called? Sorry.
Yamal Ashland. Yamal Ash is it
No.
Ashland? Yamal. I went to eat there years ago, and obviously, you could do
Yeah.
shisha on the outside. I've not been back there since 2019, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it
But
in
yeah, it's in
Finchley?
Chelsea.
Did you say
Chelsea.
Chelsea? No, I haven't been there. No, no.
Yeah,
Is it good?
Yamal Ashland. Yeah, it's good stuff. I'll send
Yeah.
you a link. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Send
They've
me a
got
link. Yeah,
they've got
I like to
dancers.
try new
They've got
shisha places.
they've got dancers and that as well, though. So if you go with the wife, you're gonna have your head down.
Yeah, go put them black shades on, innit? Just like might have to be done. Might have to be done. And Bo says, um, Hans, did I read that comment? Yes, I did.
It has to be
And it
2 days
has to
after
be
the game.
2 days after the game was played. Look, like in terms of the PS1, I did it the next day. I was not feeling well, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna push myself. But I try and do my shows as quickly after the games, with like work and family life. Sometimes it goes out the way. So I do try my best. Um, which is why I've done shows like a day or two later, and Bo's like, "Why are you still not pissed off about the result?" I'm like, "Mate, it was like 2 days ago. Like, I've calmed down since then, so I can't give you the real emotion, but I can still give you my expert analysis, I guess, to an extent." Ozan says Aussie's Shisha Show OSS. Yeah, I might have just created something here. It might have to be done. Um, I might even do a show where Shisha is part of the football analysis. So yeah, watch this space. Coming up with new ideas as we speak. Um,
Oh,
Moses Sports on slots, match
yeah,
going close.
this is
They're
actually
all
a big
wearing
topic.
Tommy Hilfiger, aren't they?
This is actually a
All
big
the
topic.
players and managers, isn't it? Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, he needs to leave it though. Boss says Aussie versus Double D rap battle. Yeah, I can't rap for. I think
I
Double
used to
D might
actually,
beat me. I,
I
I
used to
can't
actually rap.
freestyle.
I used to
Is
actually
it?
rap. I
Oh,
might have to come out.
yeah.
I might have to come out of retirement to write a snot diss track. No, I'm
You
playing. I'm
might
playing.
have to do. You might have to do that. I'm not gonna lie. You might have to do that. He needs a bigger coat in the rain. Yeah, he does. Give him a hood as well, so we don't need to see his face. Um, slot this track. Yeah, but look, Double D. You might have to jump on, do a slot this track. So yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens at the end of the season. You might see a viral video going around with Double D. I might have to help you like create AI video or something. Double D. We'll have to talk about this after the show.
Hey,
Um,
you've got the beats already. The beat for your intro had man like producer Oz, you know. Oh
trust
man.
me. Where it says, Ozzy, you could always change the channel from football to wrestling. It's twice a week and pay-per-views. You know what? It's something we could do. In terms of myself and Double D, we could do maybe on my show, or Double D has mentioned that he might want to create a wrestling channel himself. So watch this space. If that occurs, then yeah, whenever Double D needs me to jump on, I will literally come on the show and talk
I'm,
my
I'm,
talk in
I'm
terms
just
of
trying.
wrestling. So yeah, so yeah,
Uh,
if you guys are enjoying the wrestling content, I think definitely it's something we can do in the works in the near future. So yeah, watch this space. I would say. Boss, imagine Slot going into wrestling as well. Man's gonna ruin our Sims 2 sports. Yeah, look, if he was to get involved in wrestling, yeah, I would demolish him. Let's just say it like that. Um, okay, let's move on and go through the matches. So AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. So this is for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Who is your money on in terms of winning this game? That would be, of
I,
course, AJ Lee won the league the title in Elimination Chamber, wasn't it? So
yeah,
they've got
but
their rematch.
I
Who's going to be
think
victorious?
Becky's gonna win. But I want AJ to beat her, but I think Becky's gonna win just from the sheer fact that I don't know how many times AJ can
A-
come
Yeah,
throughout the year. And if you think about it, AJ um, beat when they did the mixed tag match, CM Punk and AJ against
yeah,
Becky and Seth. AJ submission, Black Widow beat Becky.
yeah.
Then she got Becky again at Survivor Series. Then she got her again to win the title. So I think Becky has to pin her or beat her sometime, man. You sort of otherwise you get me. It's repetitive.
Yeah,
So I think Becky will do it still.
I agree. I'm going for Becky Lynch. On the basis of that, we don't know how many matches AJ Lee plans on doing in the future. It could be where she has a little short break and then she returns for the big one like SummerSlam or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, so I think that makes logical sense in terms of business perspective. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm going for Becky Lynch on that one as well.
yeah.
Next, you've got a women's fatal four-way tag team championship match. Uh here we
Like,
go. You've got
like,
Charlotte Flair, you've
Lyra,
got Alexa Bliss, you've
yeah,
got
Lyra, Lyra
Lara
and Bailey.
Valkyrie, and uh, with the Bella twins is there as well.
Yeah.
You've got Bailey with like Lara back here there, and then you've got Nia Jax, and you've got Lash Legend as well. So they're the
Champion,
current tag team
champions.
champions. But who is going to be victorious in this one for you, Double D?
Oh, I think for the sheer fact that the way how they've booked Bailey sucks, I think maybe Bailey and Lyra might do it. You
Mm,
know,
That's my shout as
I,
well. I think Bailey deserves it from being dismissed last year, not being part of the WrestleMania setup. I think it would be nice for her to get the tag team titles 1 year later at WrestleMania as well. So that's
yeah,
my prediction. That's the team that I'm going for in terms of victory. You might see a fallout between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss,
yeah,
maybe
it
that
might be an
incites her
implosion. Isn't it?
to become more of a singles fighter afterwards. Uh, so yeah, that's my shout as well. So yeah, I'm going with that. Now this match, which is a bit of a weird sort of concept because it's unsanctioned, but it's still in the WWE. So I think they're trying to make it seem like that. Oh, anything goes. But they could
Yeah,
have just done that and just labeled it as Falls Count Anywhere or anything along those lines. But anyway,
exactly.
Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to this one. The build-up's been quite good. It's been quite frantic as well. They've been throwing each other from buildings and onto cars and all sorts. Um, who are you going for the dub? Because I know Drew McIntyre is your guy. So are you going to bias and you pick your guy, or are you going to go the other way on this one?
I'm a Jacob Fatu guy as well. I think he should
Yeah.
be. It hasn't been it momentarily, but I think that if they don't put the title on him within the next year, I think they've missed.
Yes,
Window
I agree.
because he got over by himself, much like LA Knight did. And the thing what makes it work for them is that when you get the what's the thing on Netflix called the WWE thing, the behind the scenes thing. It's not
Unreal.
called Unreal. That's the one. When you watch
Yeah.
Unreal, and then they talk about the way they came to the conclusion that Jay should win the Rumble last year. It makes it worse for them in the case that you've got people that have got themselves over um, organically, like Jacob Fatu. Like obviously
Yeah.
we're seeing now with Obafemi, but Oba will see how they handle him within the next
Yeah.
9 to 12 months. Um, that they would have put the belt on LA Knight, and Jacob's right there, and would allow it to be obviously if you want to make it part of another bloodline storyline. So yeah,
Mm,
I think I'm gonna go with Jacob to win it. Still, I'm gonna go with Jacob to win
me
it,
too. I'm going
and
for
that'll
Jacob
be
Fatu as well.
yeah, and but that there'll be a recurrence of that if any of them two get their hands on the belt before the next Mania. You'll see a
It'll be a
recurrence,
time.
obviously, another match here between the two. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Jacob still.
Yeah, I agree. I'm on the same wavelength. I think Fatu will get the win. I think he deserves that WrestleMania moment. I think from the way he's presenting himself, I like what you said. Like he's put himself in that picture where he has to be taken seriously. And what impresses me about his ability is obviously in terms of wrestling, he's a really good wrestler for a person of his size. He's very athletic and
Yeah,
can do, plenty of different types of moves that you wouldn't expect a person of his size to be capable of doing. And he's a great talker on the mic as well. So he's got a good sort of balance there.
yeah,
The crowd,
yeah.
they
Know what I
always
mean?
yeah, exactly. So they love those kind of things. They really respond well with him. He's a good character. So I do feel like, it's time for him to have that moment. And I do believe that this year will be the year where he is rewarded with a championship title. I think that is it should be. You can never say it will be. I think it should be destined for him, and I think it'll be thoroughly deserved because of what he's done in the last 12 or 18 months. So yeah, he's really put himself out there. So for this match, I will give the victory um to Jacob Fatu as well. Just gonna go through some of the comments before we go on to last match of night one. Wayne said if Slot went into wrestling, he'd be a jobber. Um, is it is it Speed? I see down there.
Yeah,
Yep, Asher Speed
it's me. Yeah,
and Logan Paul. Yes, they are part of the
yeah,
match. Uh, Wayne says I can't stand Logan Paul, but credit where he's due. He's a good wrestler. To be fair, I do
yes,
think he
yes.
deserves his props there. Bose asks the question: if there is one team you guys would love to be a manager for, who is it apart from Liverpool? Who would you like to manage, Double D?
Uh, Inter Milan.
Mm. What are your reasons for Inter Milan in
Because
specifics?
that's my Italian team.
Fair. Who would I manage? Do you know what? I'd probably manage Crystal Palace because obviously we're both from South London, so I
Yeah,
would try and
'cause
make
I
Crystal
did think
Palace
of that, but
into a big team, and it'll be down to me also being from South London. So the home connection plays a part there because there are other teams that I do like, but I feel like if I can elevate my local team, that would be great as well. So yeah, I'd go for Crystal Palace. So maybe I go get my CV ready because Glasner's leaving he's leaving soon. So maybe I'll get
and
myself
just
out there.
CV and that can keep you entertained while Slot's the manager. Your new job.
Trust me, honestly. Have you seen that clip of Slot showing his tactics to a kid, and a kid basically
Yeah, broke down.
like
Yeah, broke down
yeah
the
broke
tactics.
down how to beat his team. Do you know how shameful that is?
Yeah.
That is. Everyone's like, "Oh, he got outdone by a 5-year-old." The kid wasn't 5 years old, but you got the message there. Like simple tactics were completely exposed in that video. Bosses are wrestling never rigged. Wrestling is a scripted show, but of course
Yeah.
the comparison, because this is what wrestling fans will always get. Why do you guys watch wrestling? It's fake, blah blah blah. I always compare it to movies. When you guys watch a trailer to a movie, you know that there's going to be an outcome, right? But you still go and watch the movie, don't you? So it's the same with wrestling. It's all action packed, it's entertainment, and for us, we know it's scripted, but we don't know what the outcomes are. So for us, it's like that excitement to watch a show, and this is why when me and Double D do the show, we come up with ideas of what could happen, what can't happen. So it just makes it a bit more of a well-rounded show altogether. So yeah, I think in terms of what they do, listen, not everyone can step into the ring. It requires a lot of guts, a lot of strength, a lot of power. It's not for everyone. Um, just because it's scripted doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It hurts.
Yeah, yeah.
I can tell you that for sure. And you can
These are
see,
professional
you know,
athletes. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly. They are still athletes, and what they have to put their bodies, on the line, and they have to do it on. Obviously, the schedule is a bit more lesser in comparison to previous years, but they are pretty much full time, rehearsing and then doing the shows live, and they can't make mistakes and all that sort of stuff. So it's a very tough job to do, and it's not built for everyone. But I have a lot of respect for wrestlers, because we've been watching for a long time. And, it's great entertainment for us as well. Um, it's predetermined, yes, exactly. Can I ask what it's about? In terms of this, so this is the equivalence that I can say WrestleMania is like the Super Bowl. In terms of football terms, it's the Champions League, it's the World Cup final. This is the creme de la creme. This is the event that everyone looks out for, and it generally attracts more general wrestling fans or even non-wrestling fans because of the entertainment element in terms of the stars that are brought on. So you see a lot of celebrities, as you can see, Aisha Speed, Logan Paul. So you see those type of people come on. Um, Me and WD mentioned today, if you're into hip hop, Jay Uso did a show with Cameron, who is of course a very well-known rapper from New York. He's got a podcast because it is what it is, and he had a bit of an issue where he grabbed him and kicked him to the ground with complete ease, slapped him here and there. So that kind of built excitement that WrestleMania is coming, and then Cameron said later on that he's going to be at WrestleMania as well, so it adds another layer to the entertainment. So it's just a full rounded show. So hopefully, even if you're not into wrestling, maybe you can tune in and see what it's about because it is for everyone. To be fair, Bo says Dortmund, which is that's a good shout actually. Dortmund has similar sort of ethos to Liverpool, so I do like that element. So that's a good shout. Wednesday, it's a glorified popularity contest, but the skill comes in with the moves. Is there one game I should watch out for on April 18th to learn and watch? WrestleMania is a two-night event, so if you're up at 11 p.m., just tune in, and then the last match is normally the best match, but even the first match is normally a good match as well because it's the one that sets the tone for the whole evening. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just say tune in to see what you think. Um,
And the
see,
first
rest
match is that match with, and that first match is intentionally the one with Aisha Speed and Logan Paul in it.
Yes, exactly. Because that's like Double D mentioned earlier on. So this year it's a little bit different because WWE have a partnership with ESPN. So the way they've broken it down is that the first hour you can watch for free, and if you want to watch the rest of the show, you have to pay. But this is for American viewers and international viewers. I would assume. Well, actually, no, it's American, isn't it? And then the
Yeah, yeah,
rest of the
it's,
world
it's
it
Netflix.
is,
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah. And for the rest of the world, it's via Netflix. So if you've got a Netflix account, you can watch all of the events within your subscription. So that's why it suits us because every pay-per-view or PLE, as they're called now, Prime Premium Live Events, they are all on Netflix, which is great for wrestling fans like myself and Double D. So let's talk about the last match, which is a six-man tag. So you've got Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and LA Knight versus Logan Paul, Austin Fury, and Aisha Speed. I guess they had to fit in the Usos and LA Knight to some extent. Probably not the match that they would have wanted, but hey, here we are. Um, what do you see happening in this match?
um, they're talking in terms of what you just spoke about with the thing with Jay Uso on Cameron and Mace's podcast because
Yeah.
um, Jay attacked Cameron. They're saying that that was planting the seeds for him to turn heel. Because the thing is as well is that he's not seen eye to eye with LA Knight for a hot minute, obviously in terms
Yeah,
of going back when he was getting in the title picture. So
yeah,
it's one of them ones. Now they've lost the belts. Obviously, they're saying that Jay's just going to go off the rails because they've been teasing it with them saying things like he started to sound like Roman, etc. We all know how Roman was with the bloodline, how like he would dictate to the rest of the family and that. So we'll see whether that will be the case or not. So if he does, you would it would be Division that win the match, of course, with Aisha and Speed. But to be fair to Speed, just like the fact of obviously we're pointing out how good an athlete Logan is, Speed has been practicing for months.
yeah. He has.
Like
Yeah,
there's been clips of him with Randy Orton and whatnot, and
yeah,
Randy showing him how to sell and how to take bumps and that. And he's a crazy athlete, Speed. So don't be surprised
he
if we
is.
see
Yeah.
some spots with him jumping over the ropes and whatnot and
Doing
displaying
moonsaults and
how
all sorts like that.
powerful
Yeah,
yeah, doing moonsaults and that. So it should be
mm,
an entertaining way to start the thing off. But yeah, I think the Vision
yeah.
win it, and there'll be some kind of implosion with the Usos and LA Knight.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going for a win for the Usos and LA Knight. In terms of the Jey Uso thing, I don't think he'll turn heel yet. It could be something on the cards in the future. Kind of similar to Cody Rhodes, where you know, from a business standpoint, he's the one that sells the most merch in terms of the Yeet t-shirts and all that stuff. So if he was to turn heel, that might not transcend in terms of shirt sales as well. So I think from
Yeah,
that standpoint, they might not do it yet. But what I think they will do with Jay is that they will give him these moments where he crashes out. So crash out Jay is what they call it, isn't it? So he will have these moments here and there where he won't be a complete heel, but he'll have these tendencies of, going off the rails at times, which I think people do enjoy watching with Jason, which is what how he's made his name over the years with the Bloodline storyline as well. So,
yeah,
so in terms of this one, I'm expecting it to be a win for the Usos and LA Knight. But like I said, maybe we see a bit of tension between LA Knight and Uso. Who knows? But I expect them to win in this game. Um, just going to go through some comments and then we'll go through the comments and then we'll do this night two as well. Um, Bo says stupid question. No, it's all good, Bo. You can ask whatever question you like. It's all good. I know you're not you haven't watched wrestling before, so you're entitled to ask whatever you like. Um, yeah, it's what he says. All good.
no,
Um,
it's gonna be a slot.
hello. Honestly, I'm gonna start the Ronaldinho documentary tonight. Do you know what? I just mentioned that earlier in the show. I'm definitely gonna probably watch that tomorrow. It's a bit late for me now, but I'm definitely gonna watch that tomorrow. Only 3 1-hour episodes. So yeah, that's me. That's me sorted for Friday night now. That I'll be watching that tomorrow. Um, at least he didn't do it on camera like Ozzy did with his ages and Chiesa's moments earlier on. What did I say that was ages? I don't remember. The Chiesa's one I get because I forgot about him, but ages, I don't remember what I said, but no, I'm too polite to say things like that. Okay, let's move on to night two. So let's start with the main event. What have you thought of the build up to
The
CM
the
Punk
build
versus
up
Roman Reigns?
it started really well. Like when Roman was saying that he hates
Yeah,
uh
CM
Punk and
Punk.
whatnot. And then it went down a bit, came back up. I thought Monday was rushed, and I expected more words from Roman because CM Punk that was quite a good promo on
Mm.
Monday on Raw. But yeah, at first I thought Roman Reigns wins. Now I'm thinking, are they going to let Punk continue on? I'll stick with my original choice with Roman Reigns, but I've got doubts now that I didn't have before. The closer it gets,
Okay,
because then
that's
I'm
interesting.
thinking, what do they do with Punk then? Because Punk's been literally involved when he's not been injured in everything. Even before he was cleared to come back in ring, it was him hitting Drew at last year's Mania with the what was that 2 years ago?
Which
No,
one was
that
that?
was two
CM
years
Punk?
ago. That was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 2 years ago when Punk hit Drew with the
Oh, is that when Damien Priest won?
wasn't it? Yeah, when Priest won the title. That was two
That was
years ago, wasn't
that
it?
was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was WrestleMania 40. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, I'm trying to think who the hell did Finn fight last year. So that was 2 years ago, wasn't it? When he hit him
Yeah,
with
it's
the
2 years
thing,
ago.
and then we got the barrage of their matches together and whatnot because Drew was
Yeah.
winning
Yeah.
all the. Uh,
Last year it was the triple threat: CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth
yes,
Rollins.
yes, 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 yes,
Mm.
yes, of course. So yeah, yeah, because I'm thinking what next would then be for Punk. But I'll stick with Roman. But yeah, if he was to go to Punk now, I wouldn't be a surprise as I would have been say a month
Mm.
ago. You get me?
Yeah, I'm sticking Roman Reigns as well. I think he's just destined to get that title back, and I think he's ready to go on a bit of a run now. Because obviously he had movies to do and stuff like that. So I feel like
Yeah,
might be a good time. But this won't be the end. I'm sure they'll have a rivalry that goes on for months and months. So yeah, I'm going to go for Roman Reigns to be victorious in this one. The next one's going to be interesting match. You've got the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio.
but
So
that's
of
so
course, there's a
dumb. What? That's so dumb. Why would they promote the fact that the demon is coming? Like, why wouldn't that be something you'd want to keep under wraps so you get a bit of a
yeah,
mania surprise? Because think of
I
how
agree.
the crowd, think of how much more the crowd is going to be amped anyway because it's the demon. But think of how
Yeah,
much more amped they would be if they didn't know the demon was coming out. You get me?
yeah. There would have been a louder pop for that because we know it's going to happen now. It's not. It doesn't have that still same impact. I don't think so. Because even if it was a one-off, it still would have been nice for it to be a surprise. Or maybe this is his new angle from now on. So maybe that's why they've announced it. Who knows? But what do you see being the outcome for this one? So this will be quite a good match, I think.
Yeah, it will definitely be a good match, and the fact that there's only 6 matches on night two. There's gonna be some long ass intros like of them coming out, and then entrances rather than intros, entrances, and this match will be quite long. So you'll see them both taking turns to dominate it, and then we'll get a big finish. Whether there'll be outside interference in this or not, I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Who am I going to go for?
It's
I
a
might go
tricky
for
one.
Dominic Mysterio to win this one. Don't know why, but I feel like it might just be cool for him to win this match. Um, but then again, I feel like Finn Balor needs it though. If he's going to present himself as the demon, and obviously he's had the 2 matches with CM Punk where he wasn't able to win the title, so I feel
Yeah,
like maybe he needs the win here. So actually, I'm gonna go Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor needs this one
yeah,
just
that
to
would be
show the
that would
levels, you know?
as you said the demon. Otherwise, what would be it doesn't make sense. You just have him be Finn Bella,
Yeah,
normal
exactly.
Finn Bella. If Dom's going to win, so yeah, I think Finn wins. But we need a Finn title run, a solo one, man. Remember, he never
Yeah.
actually got his rematch from when
He
he
got
had
injured,
to
didn't he, after his title win,
yeah,
isn't it, or
yeah,
something like that?
he had to relinquish the title because of the shoulder injury. He never actually
Yeah.
got his rematch, and we're talking later on this year. That'll be 10 years. That's
Mm.
crazy. That's crazy.
I think what could be interesting if Roman Reigns was to win, I would like to see Demon Finn Balor face Roman Reigns because that they have history as well, isn't it? So that would be a good
Yes,
way
because
to have
Roman
a
beat him. Roman beat him a
exactly.
couple of years ago with that stupid ending where they tried to cut the ropes, but the light went on before they cut the ropes, and then you saw the
Yeah.
man cutting them. So dumb. What a stupid ending. You
Yeah, so
get me?
that might be one way they kind of revisit, and there's already a bit of a history between the two, so that'd be a good one to have as another match in the PLEs. So yeah, I'm going for Demon Finn Balor to win that one. Just gonna go through some of the comments before we move on to the next match.
Yep.
Um, Wayne says, Ozzy, you smirked when I said I'm old enough to have seen the first WrestleMania. I don't think I smirked at you in terms of that or you being old. I might only be a few years younger than you, so I can't really say that like I'm a lot younger. Because I believe when was the first WrestleMania Double D? Was it 88?
84, I think.
Is it 84? Okay, so
88. Yeah, wait, so 90, the six was in 1990, so that means five was 89, four was 88,
85
three
was the
was
first one.
87, 86, yeah, so 85 was the first one.
Yeah, 85. So yeah. So yeah, apologies if you thought I was smoking at you. I think I was just trying to visualize what was my first WrestleMania. I think Double D mentioned. Oh, that's the one I remember. Ultimate Warrior
Yeah, and Hulk
and
Hogan, yeah.
Hulk Hogan because that was huge at the time. I do remember the Andre the Giant thing, but I don't remember it. You know, like as I was a young. I think I remember that as you get older, isn't it? So yeah, apologies if you if you thought I was laughing at you. I think I was just trying to reminisce in terms of the matches that I saw in WrestleManias. Um, Ozzy making fun of the elders. I might be same age as you for all I know, so I can't be making too much fun out of anyone here. There's me thinking I was in a safe space. Then Ozzy and Bo attacked me for my age. Well, Bo attacked you as well. Come on, Bo. Shame on you. Shame.
No, 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 no.
Um, 85. Bo, are you 85? No, you're not. I'm just trolling. Okay. Let's move on and talk Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. What we made of their build up because it first started off social media where they were
Yeah,
going at each other.
there was mad heat there, wasn't it? Because they say that Jade is not really friendly and whatnot backstage and thinks she's all that. And then a bag of wrestlers were backing it for uh Rhea in terms of what was
Mhm.
going on. To then set talking about how Jade's whacking the ring, etc., etc. Um, because Piper Niven was involved in it at the start as well. I don't even know if she's going to be able to come back to wrestle, which is a shame because of
Mm,
her injury,
yeah,
but she was
it was a
involved
neck
in
injury, isn't it? That
it.
she suffered.
Yeah, neck injury, yeah. And
That's a shame.
that was going back and forth. So then when the promo finally came, it was a little disappointing because you thought that there was going to be more, you get me, more to it and some proper shots. A bit like, as you mentioned earlier, with Tiffany and
Yeah.
Charlotte last year. But
Mhm.
yeah, it wasn't to be like that really. But I think here, I want Jade to win, but I don't see any world where Rhea doesn't win this match, man. I just want to see how they
Mm,
do it, though, because obviously, in terms of like physique and strength, etc., um, Jade is one of the few women that actually looks more defined than Rhea, and Rhea's very defined. But I
yeah.
don't know if you notice this as well. Rhea's looking a little smaller, like still
Yeah.
muscly in terms of like her actual like she's not before she
Mm,
was like that back and that, but she slimmed down a little bit and then took there.
yeah.
So Jade looks more dominant um wise in that. There's got more presence in that sense. But yeah, I think Rhea makes this look better than some of the matches Jade's had, and Rhea wins the title. And probably down the line, Io comes to SmackDown permanently, and
Mm,
then Rhea finally gets her when they fall out. Unfortunately, though, they're cool at the moment, and Rhea finally gets her win over Io because she's never beaten her, even going back to NXT.
yeah.
And
You're right.
this is where watching NXT pays its dividends because you know what's to come. Like us that have watched NXT as well as much as possible, we expected Obafemi to have this. We knew about Carmelo Hayes, we knew about Bron Breakker, you get what I'm saying? So like, it's a good way to see. Even LA Knight we knew about, so it's a good way to see what type of personalities and what type of characters these people are going to bring to the main roster.
Yeah. I'm on the same wavelength as you, but I'm gonna tweak it slightly. So I think Jade Cargill will win, but I think that's because Io Sky tries to help Rhea, but ends up
Ooh,
making her lose somehow. So
yeah,
that becomes a bit of a rift.
because
Yeah.
obviously Meechin and Beefab are going to be there in it. So
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
exactly, and then that will be the interference, and then that's gonna create a rivalry between the two. And then, like I said, Io, I think will be moved over to SmackDown, or she'll be
Yeah.
trying to get the title off Rhea Ripley, and then that will create another rivalry there. So I'm going for Jade Cargo to win this one.
What
Um, so yeah, I think Jade will be
Rhea at Backlash then, yeah. So like a
yeah,
rematch at WrestleMania
yes,
Backlash, and then
yes.
flipping Rhea
That
wins
that
it,
can
and
definitely
then
happen. That can
defends
definitely
it
happen.
against
I agree with
Io
that.
At SummerSlam. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Just gonna go
or
through
even
some of the
money in,
comments.
or even Money in the Bank, which is
When
earlier.
is Money the Bank has changed now, isn't it? It's not going to be because they've changed the dates for some of the events because of the World Cup. So there isn't a
Ah,
PLE in June. I think it'll be moved
June.
over to July or August.
Okay, okay. It'll have to be
Yeah,
July
someone
because
mentioned that to me.
SummerSlam's always August, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
yeah, good point. Yeah, because of the World Cup. Yeah, yeah.
Because of the
Okay,
World
okay.
Cup, I think they moved it. So 1 month there won't be a PLE. I think it will just be Money in the Bank the next one. I think that's the
Mm,
plan anyway.
yeah.
Okay, let's just go through some of the comments here. Uh, mm, Bo versus Reigns would be a full circle moment. I think that'd be a good. I think that'd be a good one to have either in Backlash or the following event. What's the following one after Backlash? I don't know, but
Yeah,
I
so
think the one after that would be
Black Crash in May, and then usually the Money in the Bank
yeah.
June.
So it'll probably be Money in the Bank, as in maybe a longer build up, and then just do like oh, there might is there a Saturday night main event? But I don't think that should be
There'll,
on that one.
there'll,
To be
def,
fair,
there'll definitely be a Saturday. There'll definitely be a Saturday night main event coming soon. They just string them in as much as possible.
yeah. Even those shows, there's so many ads in that one. It's so annoying.
It's
I think I've fallen
crazy.
asleep watching the last
Yeah,
one.
because those come on YouTube. So yeah, there's adverts after every single match. Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
free on
it's
YouTube.
during the
So
matches as well, which is so ridiculous. But yeah, it's not cool. Um, 85. WrestleMania 85. Yes, it is. It says, I'm not 85 years old, Ozzy. I told you ages. The reason I
nah,
was shocked about Bo being 85 because Bo tells me he's a football coach. So I'm not expecting an 85-year-old to be a football coach. People are telling Roy Hodgson to, calm down and stop managing teams. So, I thought, at 85, I don't expect anyone to be a football coach, but maybe I'm wrong there. Fair Ozzy didn't believe believe that. Why was it? I forgot to tell you. I managed to secure tickets for Morocco versus Haiti in the World Cup. Oh, that's big. Um, and Congo against Uzbekistan. Oh, that's a
what
couple
did
of
you
good
go?
games. The
What did
Morocco
you
one
go
will
in the
be, I
ballot?
think, exciting to watch.
What did you go in the ballot?
Yeah, how did
Was
you get in from the ballot? Because that's cool. I think to get any World Cup game is a great experience. So yeah, hopefully you'll have a great time. Yeah, you might have to vlog it or do something, put it on your social media. That'll be quite an interesting watch from us. Um,
yeah,
Balor won his first world title against Reigns years ago. Then the next night, yeah, he had to give it because yeah, exactly. That is true. Bro, I waited on the online queue for 11 hours. Wow, fair play
it's,
to you for getting those tickets after 11 hours. Yeah, that must have been stress as well because anytime your computer's not refreshing, you're like, shoot, I've just missed my chance. So you've been on there for 11 hours, you got your ticket. So yeah, that's quite big. Okay, let's talk about Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams.
Trick Willie.
Trick Williams.
Well,
So, what are we saying about this match?
yeah, I think Trick wins. I think they intentionally took the belt off of Carmelo Hayes for
Yeah,
Trick to take it off of Sammy. Only way
yeah,
Sammy, um, only way Sammy. So, though the fact that Trick's unbeaten, so you never know. The only way it should be a triple threat, and we're hoping for it. So we're hoping
yeah.
that SmackDown there's a little thing where Melo could get into it, but I don't know how they'd work it considering he had his match against Sammy and lost on
I think
SmackDown.
what you mentioned earlier on makes more sense. So,
Yeah,
originally I said triple threat as well, but
yeah,
the more we've spoken about, I feel like maybe it was right to do it like this. The reason I say is because Hayes and Williams have a history in NXT, right? So for that, you kind of have to build up a story for that next chapter, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
that
yeah,
comes across in Backlash, or maybe is that something they build up towards SummerSlam?
yeah.
Because I think that would be a
Tricks,
great
yeah,
match to have at SummerSlam.
yeah. Tricks first defense against him.
Yeah,
Maybe a
exactly.
backlash. If not, then like his third or fourth defense or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
like
But yeah,
SummerSlam, which is
like
a few months away,
SummerSlam.
that would be a big one for them two to have. So I think that would probably be the reason why they didn't go with Hayes, because it would have made sense to have it as a triple threat as well. But I feel like maybe they're trying to build it where, two young stars coming through with history from NXT, being former tag
Yeah,
team partners, and all that sort of stuff. So I think that will work. But in terms of this match, yes, I'm expecting Trick Williams to whoop that trick, as he likes to say, and be victorious with the US title. So yes, that is
yeah.
my prediction as well. This match, I'm sure you agree, Double D is the one I'm looking
Right.
forward to
First
watching,
hour. Yeah.
and that is Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. Now, who do you think is victorious in this match?
Do you know what? I've been changing, but I think I'm stuck, going to stick with my decision now. Now, the way they've built it, Obafemi has got the. First of all, this is the real main event. If we're being really realistic,
Yeah,
the pops that Obafemi is getting from the crowd, um, like it's brilliant the way that they've taken to him. But we knew it was coming from seeing how dominant he was in NXT and how good he
yeah,
was. Um, So yeah, so the pops he's been getting, Brock is selling for him, and Brock from listening through and being veterans in wrestling, he only sells for people that he likes. People have spoken about him being awkward to move with in the past, and I remember, well, not remember, I wasn't watching wrestling at the time, but I've watched it back from just trying to watch as much as I can from when I wasn't watching wrestling of the brawl that he had. Brock Lesnar with John Cena, where he actually took his gloves off, was proper elbowing and punching John Cena, drew blood
wow,
through. They had a proper fight. You get me? So if he sells for you like he sold here, like he sold for Cody Rhodes in the past and whatnot, Brock likes you. And it seems he's really into this with Obafemi. He even told Obafemi to put his foot on him when the
yeah,
first time they clashed, which is something I remember him telling Drew McIntyre to do when they was
yes,
pandemic era when Drew finally beat him at WrestleMania when the pandemic has started, so no fans and that.
mm,
Um, so I think that with the way I had my doubts, and I started thinking that Brock's gonna win because Obafemi was dominating every week, and then
yeah,
um, did that brilliant promo on Raw on Monday. So from
yeah,
that day, I think that Obafemi wins now. Though I, before that, prior to that, I was thinking possibly Brock might win, and then Oba faces him again closer. Because I think somewhere they said that Brock's contract runs out in August, and I was thinking that yeah, Oba beats him at
mm,
thingy
SummerSlam,
SummerSlam and then done. But yes, I'm going to go with Obafemi, but I do also think that there may be a rematch, or it might be the other way. Oba wins this one because it's at Mania, so it's his earlier Mania moment, and they can get him into the title picture within the next 3 months, and then they face each other again, and then Brock wins or something like that. And
mm,
there's like, well, that's what my cousin actually thinks, and then there's something about that whole storyline um, in regards to that happening. And then you get me. So yeah,
mm.
we'll see, But yeah, I'll go with Oba, but I wouldn't be surprised if something happens and Brock wins and there for rematch and then Oba wins.
There's a theory going around that potentially Paul Heyman might betray Brock Lesnar and then
Ooh,
he partners with Obafemi.
that's
Personally,
another thing.
I don't
Oba
want to
does,
see that happening.
yeah, because Oba does good
Yeah,
promos. So it's only
yeah,
people that aren't as great kind of promos that it makes sense to have
yeah.
uh Paul Heyman there with them.
And
Like
also
imagine
he's
if
yeah,
yeah, no, imagine if EO went heel, then Heyman would be
yeah,
perfect for
yeah.
me.
I think Obafemi as well. He's built that momentum himself, so I feel like he can carry himself and do that on his own. I don't think he needs a Paul Heyman to
yeah,
elevate himself, if that makes sense. So I feel like right now the momentum's with him, so let him just kind of keep it rolling and see what he does with it. Um,
yeah,
I see Obafemi winning this one. The way it's been built up, I feel like they're just Brock Lesnar probably has a liking towards Obafemi, and he's trying to elevate him to give him a spot so he can achieve that next
yeah,
level as well. So, which is what all the greats do. They always try and uplift the next star that comes through.
yeah.
Um, so I think that is the angle here, and I think it would be quite fitting to do that with Obafemi. So I am going for Obafemi to win this match. But in terms of SummerSlam, there has been rumors suggesting that maybe the career killer Gunfer is the one that puts Brock Lesnar to bed, and with Gunfer, partnering with Paul Heyman with the Seth Rollins match, that could be a storyline we see in the coming months as well. So we're interested to
Uh,
see, what transpires with that. But yeah, I agree. This match for me is like a main event, but with WrestleMania, I always feel like the first match is normally like the second best match on the card anyway, because they need
yeah,
to build up the event for the masses. So having that as the first match, you'll make
yeah.
sure you're not running late. Make sure you're logged on. You make sure you've got everything tuned in, because
Yeah,
that's going to be a blockbuster of a match to start off the night. So yeah, that's one I'm definitely looking forward to. And then we have the final match, which is for the Intercontinental title. You've got McDonough, you've got Dragon Lee, you've got Penta, Javon Evans,
yeah,
Rey Mysterio, who's been added to the mix, and then
yeah.
you've got Rusev as well. And this is a ladder match, so that's going to be
This
quite
is gonna be
interesting. I'm
mad.
sure
This
we'll
is
be
gonna
seeing
be
a lot of
madness.
flying moves. We've got, three luchadors right there in Dragon Lee, Penta, and Rey Mysterio. So you're gonna see all sorts. You've got a powerhouse in Rusev. McDonough for me is kind of underrated. I quite like the way he wrestles,
I'll
and
take it
he's
with
very
brothers. Cold from NXT. It's cold.
yeah, and he's like he's very solid, very strong, industrious in terms of how he operates. And you've got a high flyer in Javon Evans as well. So it'll be a good balance. Who do you think is going to win? Is Penta going to retain his title, or will we see a new crowned Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania?
Off the top of my head, I'm going to say Penta retains.
Mm,
Uh, in a crazy match though, this really shouldn't be being crammed into the first hour. If we're being real, this really shouldn't be being crammed into the first hour because
no.
ladder matches are normally about 40 minutes or so
Yeah,
with the edge and whatnot, and you get some wild spots. But if this is they're fitting this into unless Oba squashes Brock, which I don't think is the right thing to do, but because we've already seen that with Goldberg beating him. So I want Brock to get in a
yeah,
lot of offense if the case where Oba wins. So the fact that they both win their first hour means one of the matches are going to be much shorter than we expect. So
yeah.
it might be this one. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with Penta retaining, though there are a couple of people in this match who I wouldn't mind winning the match to be in.
Mm, I agree with you. I would like to see Penta have a bit more of a longer run because he's just
Yeah,
recently won the title. I do like the look of Javon Evans. I think he's definitely a future champion. Um, I think Penta to retain. Dragon Lee is doing some good stuff as well. He's been very impressive actually in the last 6 months, especially when he was
yeah,
with AJ Styles in the tag
yeah,
team. Rey Mysterio, absolute legend. So no need to speak too much about him. It was good to see him back in action after him being injured for a while. Rusev hasn't really um, made his presence felt, but this will be a good way to showcase his ability.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and for the way the segment ended on Raw, he pretty much demolished everyone. So maybe that happens again. But I'm going for Penta. I think Penta will be victorious, and I think he will retain his Intercontinental title. So yeah, so that is our predictions. Just going to go through some of the final comments before
Yeah,
we
yeah,
close the show. Where do we go from here? Ozan saying that he spent an entire day just watching his laptop. Well, I guess it was all worth it. You've got 2 tickets for 2 matches there, so that should be an excitement there for you to go and watch some fixtures in the World Cup. Wait, says, am I the only one when they say his name? Are you waiting for them to add Martins at the end? Yeah, Obafemi Martins. Yeah, that did come to my mind when I first came across Obafemi on NXT. Bro, the only Obafemi I know is Obafemi Martins. Yeah, definite legend on Pro Evolution Soccer, especially if you're a gamer. You know, Obafemi Martins was not quite Adrian levels in the game, but was definitely quick and powerful with shooting as well. So yeah, Overfin was definitely one to use on Pro Evolution Soccer. Um, Ozzy, remember when CM Punk actually fought in the UFC and got waxed? He had two matches there. They were probably by far the worst matches I've ever seen in UFC. He was awful. I don't know if you've seen those matches, Double D. He was quite bad. Um, and I
No,
think
I'm
the
not.
guy that
I
he
think
fought
I think I saw him get knocked out in one of them, but otherwise, nah, to be
Yeah.
honest.
So the fight that I've forgotten the guy's name, but the one he fought in his second fight,
Yeah.
basically took it easy on CM Punk to make him look better than he was. And I think the guy got sacked by the UFC. Like he never fought in the UFC ever again because
Oh
Dana
wow.
White was like, look, like you made it look easy for him on purpose, and that's not how we do things in UFC. This ain't WWE, so
Yeah.
got sacked. I don't think he ever fought in the UFC ever again. So yeah, was not a good look at all for him. Wednesday Penta should be in a hardcore match. You see what he did to Moxley. Listen, Penta's been doing all sorts of madness from like luchadors to like what he did in AEW. So yeah, he's more than capable of doing those type of matches. So it'd be good to see him, how he does in the ladder match. I'm expecting some crazy falls and all sorts. So yeah, it should be an exciting match all round. Um, but that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Firstly, shout out to Double D. We've done a show for over three and a
Almost
half
four
hours.
hours.
So
Yeah.
big up to Double D for taking his time to do the show and get involved in the chat as well. So big up to Double D as always. Double
Come on,
D,
man. Anytime.
please let the people know what to expect from you in the coming weeks and yeah, anything you got lined up for in terms of content. And yeah, feel free to plug all your platforms.
Yeah. First of all, obviously, man bangs YouTube enough, but flipping, I write also. So any well, the Liverpool stuff will come back. When a rend slot, you can get Arne back when we start doing better. Uh, on my webpage, that's danzigzags.co.uk. That's danzigzags at Danzig, yeah, that's it. Danzigzags.co.uk. So is my webpage and regular FPL blogs go on there, and there's lots of other feature articles and whatnot on there. But otherwise, if you listen to the audio and you're not on YouTube, then I'm at Double D on all socials. That's DUBULDEE, and I'm also a part of the D&D Football Factory, and we are at DD Footy Factory underscore on the socials, and we go live on from Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to midday on Top FM. That's 95.5 FM in London. If you're not in London, probably best to listen to it on the Tune In app or Simple Radio app. Or actually, the best way actually, there is actually an On Top FM app on in the App Store and on Android as well, and On Top FM app, and goes directly to the radio station, and you're only probably about 20 to 20 seconds or so behind the actual feed. So yeah, download the On Top FM app and you can listen to that anytime and all the other good shows that are on there, man. But yeah, man, always here, always about like obviously chatting about footy and other stuff on there. And I have some more stuff coming. It's just that I want to edit something and learn to do that myself and then get things rolling, and then I'll be collaring Ozzy in for us to do more stuff like this on a regular basis. Some wrap ups of Raw and some other stuff and that as well. You get me? So yeah, but soon come
No, big up, man. I'm
the
looking
year
forward
of
to
change.
some of the new content you got lined up. So yeah, should be exciting stuff. So yeah, watch the space because Double D's got a few things lined up. So hopefully, I
Yeah,
can let you
man.
guys know once it's announced and launched, and then yeah, we can take it from there. So yeah, big up to Double D as always. got a couple comments there before we close the show. Wayne says, "Big up Ozzy, great show. Shame about the ageism, but I'll let you slide. LOL. Big up Double D and chat. Big up Wayne as always.
Big
Thank you
up,
for
Wayne.
staying
Big
up."
up, Wayne.
Ozzy said 4 hour stream when we lose to Merseyside Derby. Oh, do you know what? I don't know if I'll be able to do that. So wait, hold on. The Derby's on Sunday, isn't it? So
Yeah,
let's see. Cause yeah,
I'm
the
gonna
night
be
two.
hanging. I'm gonna be hanging from WrestleMania because we're at two
Yeah,
o'clock. So
that's what I'm
the
thinking
day,
right now. I need to get some rest after the watch along. So might have to have a little power nap and then yeah, get ready for it. But then I got a match reaction show to do as well. So let's see. Match reaction show I'll probably do the next day, to be fair. Or if I will do it, I'll do it at earlier time at like 9 o'clock. So that I'm ready to watch WrestleMania night 2 at 11 p.m. But yeah, I will keep you guys posted. Best thing to do as always is hit that notification bell so you know exactly what time we go live. In terms of upcoming shows, the watch along will take place on Sunday with the match reaction show. And then we'll have a few more shows next week. I do want to do a show about left backs, which I mentioned earlier in the week. Uh, Potential players that could come in, or do we just revert to our old plan and bring back Simicast? We can have a discussion about that. Right back is another topic I want to discuss. And then at some point by the end of the season, we'll do a special transfer show where I try and map out who we're going to sell, who we're going to buy, who we're going to loan out, and paint the picture for Richard Hughes and see what he's got to do in the upcoming months. But that'll be happening in the next few weeks. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe. I hope to speak with
PS4.
you all very, very soon. Goodbye.